Let's go ahead and start this. We're good? Awesome. Everybody, welcome to the Debo and Friends podcast, episode number... Oh, actually, let me check. I think it's 25. I think it's 25. Are we at 25? The episode's... I'm an old man now. My birthday today. I can't remember. I can't remember the numbers anymore clearly like I did when I was younger.
Come remember that numbers when you were 29.
Oh, hey, 25. We're at episode number 25. Where we talk about everything and anything in the gaming industry. We like to keep it real. We don't sugarcoat stuff, and we keep things honest. At least until one of these AAA companies decides to pay us huge amounts of money behind the scenes, or we'll lie and say everything about the company is fantastic. So if any companies out there that want to do that, looking at you, Blizzard, and looking at you, Konami, then yeah. And Ubisoft, if you send us the money, we'll lie and say whatever you want us to say.
I'll pre-order The Division.
Oh, that's a good one.
In fact, you can send me a copy.
But I'm joined here today with Savius and Random Black Guy. How you guys doing today?
Yeah.
Savius is jacked out. He's been playing Tree Savior all day. He's been going nuts, grinding his face off. Yeah, I think he's still playing right now. You still playing right now, right, Savius?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm alright.
And then how you doing, Random?
I'm alright. Birthday recently passed.
Yeah, no one cares about your birthday.
Ain't get that key from Debo he promised, but hey, niggas lie, it's so cool.
Okay, let me put it in perspective. I say hypothetically I did promise you a key. You didn't get it. You didn't lose anything. What about the Russian mafia gangsters that haven't returned your $70 yet? What was that game, Skyforge? Have they sent you your money back yet or no?
You'll never get that back, bro.
This is like the third or fourth podcast we've been talking about, and we haven't missed a podcast yet each week, so this is like a month since you last talked about it. Like, every week we ask you, did you get your money back from Skyforge, from doing, what was it,
no.
Kickstarter, right? No, and what, have they sent you an email? Have they notified you?
I just recently messaged them yesterday.
Have they messaged you back?
Reply. No. I'm not giving them money back.
This is an ongoing thing when he invested in Skyforge, which is actually out now in open beta. Go out there and give it a try if you'd like. And he put $70 in, and then he pulled out. And unfortunately, even though he pulled out, he should have used protection in the first place and just practiced abstaining from the act of pre-ordering these games. He is currently waiting back for his $70, and they have disabled his access, so he can't connect anyway.
Sometimes it feels like somebody's following me.
Gotta try my follower. Thank you for the follow, though. Thank you, Dutcher, for the happy birthday. So they haven't given your money back yet, huh?
No.
Okay.
I'm getting it back, man. I'm telling you.
Well, I guess we'll just ask you next week.
I'm going to have to go to Russia. I don't make it back.
You go to
Tell my
Russia,
kids I
you're
love
not
them.
coming back. Not only are you not going to get your money back, you're not going to come back.
So we'll ask you next week. Hopefully you get your money back. So what you gonna do when you get that $70 back? Sorry, if you get that $70 back. What's the first thing you do? You can go out and buy a game or something? Go treat yourself to a steak dinner?
No, I'm going to put it up and save it until I get another job.
Okay. Well, good for you. Anywho, we're going to go ahead and get started in the topics tonight. Like we always do, we're going to go ahead and link the topics inside the stream. Inside the stream. So if you want to click along and read the articles with us while we discuss what's going on in the world of gaming, you guys can. First topic of tonight's a good one. Konami reportedly severely mistreating employees. And if you guys have been following the podcast, Konami's been fucking up. And I have to say, as everybody, is anybody surprised about this? I'm not. I'm
not after, what we've been talking about for so long. It seems like maybe half the year we've been talking about stories because of the issues with Metal Gear Solid 5 and Hideo Kojima, and
If they can treat somebody like him like shit, why
many,
not?
Right,
Everybody
like there were
else.
already so many issues present. So it was just not too surprised to hear that they're not treating folks all too well. Unfortunately, good lord. But
They
yeah.
lost the Silent Hill franchise. They fired Hideo Kojima. They also took his name off his product, so they went their separate ways along with some of the major Castlevania developer. He went off, and they both have started to work on their own projects, which is, I don't know who's in charge of Konami, but it must be that guy who's obsessed with mobile gaming as the future, and maybe he just doesn't care about
That
because
was,
he's gonna,
yeah, he did say that, didn't he? Their president
I
or the
think
CEO, whatever it was, he
they're
did
gonna
say
start their mobile gaming thing, release a bunch of Konami games on mobile devices, and just re-release what they already own the intellectual property rights on, and then they're gonna proceed into the future just milking out everything. This is pretty sad because you think about it. Konami had Castlevania, which was doing very good, especially in the GBA.
Yeah, I loved Castlevania.
And they also had Metal Gear, which was good. I mean, they were kind of overly doing it.
have, you know what I mean? That's what it is, because he developed it there. It belongs to Konami, unfortunately. So they'll try to keep the series going. They could even try to keep Silent Hill going. But again, without, the original creators and directors and everything, it will not be the same.
They don't try to buy. I hope Microsoft doesn't end up successfully buying Silent Hill, because they were talking about that and making it Xbox exclusive. Just like Tomb Raider is an Xbox exclusive now.
It's not exclusive, it's a timed exclusive.
Yeah, but do we need...
PS4
what's the
still
point
get it.
of having a timed exclusive? Like,
I don't know, it's stupid.
Do you really think people come out... Dude, the new Warcraft's come out. I gotta go out and buy an Xbox right now. No one said no one ever.
That is what they... That's what they... I don't know if that's what they expect.
I don't know
right, that's what
who is up in Microsoft, but if it was Destiny, okay. If it was a new Halo, I would understand. One of their big AAA titles that have proven themselves. This is Tomb Raider. Now, Tomb Raider's a great game. The reboot's fantastic, but who's gonna run out and buy a $400-something system to get Tomb Raider?
Square's doing a really good job with the series.
I mean,
it looks
it's a good
really
series,
good.
but yeah.
I mean, if Sony were to do it, Sony always does it with AAA titles, or like something like that. Like Last of Us, okay, I could see that. Oh, okay, Uncharted, they got games that are like, oh, okay, I could buy a system for that. I mean, that even then, that's still kind of silly. I think those should go everywhere, but I mean, with the Midas touch of Naughty Dog, that ain't happening anytime soon. I just find it weird. But I digress. We're talking about Konami and how they're fucking up, and they are, and we know they're fucking up, and it's been all over the social media, and that's the beautiful thing about social media and the being anonymous, having that anonymity, that people who work for can be like, hey, fucking this company is terrible, but like I said, none of us are surprised, because if you look at the writing on the wall and their track record of what they've been doing recently, it's no surprise. I don't know what's going on. Maybe that
those evil guys over the guys.
What do you guys think? Why do you think it's just going this bad? What do you think is the blame? Do you think it's the CEO members? Do you think it's just the company's going direction? I mean, I blame the CEO. Sticks from the head down, right?
Yeah, somebody is.
They just don't give a fuck. That's all.
Yeah, like I don't know what it is or why it is that they have decided to make decisions that that they've been making, but it's someone's choice to say, hey man, we're gonna fire Kojima because he's getting a little too big for his britches. He thinks he's more important than he actually is, and they just don't want to give the man his due respect, which is just, it's not that hard. Just, give him what he's owed.
All that damn time.
I would just say this.
I'm surprised he's not he hadn't become the president of the company for as long as he had been there, but he had his own production team and everything.
He probably could, but there's people who probably foresaw that and they want to set them up for a good position, and they probably made it so that didn't happen. I'm surprised because if you look at Nintendo actually they take the people who've been there for a long time and promote within it.
It's funny because let's take some of the stuff that they're saying that they're doing. Because you said about social media, here's the funny thing, right? Let me read this if I read this right. One of these links actually has they went into sort of detail as to some of the things. It may have been the Kotaku one. Let me because I went to the Polygon one. I don't know about Kojima being picked up by anyone else or anything.
Like Sega said a couple weeks ago, he might be on some type of agreement that when he separates from them, he has to be a while before he can develop anything. I was kind of surprised those kind of contracts exist, but that actually makes sense when you're afraid of somebody leaving and doing competition.
I see a lot of people have issues with Kotaku, but I mean, like I said, I scour things. Like, if it was just Kotaku reporting on something, I probably wouldn't. Like, I never just go to one source. There's always multiple sources.
Well, I mean, you link
they have more detail than someone else.
You link multiple links to different places about the main, article, and then even outside of that, in official news, Hideo Kojima
problems that other people have with the site.
Well, Hideo Kojima.
They have clickbait articles or something.
Well, here's the big thing. Look, Hideo Kojima has left Konami. They have taken his name off of all the Metal Gear 5 Solid stuff. So it's like so it's already been through. The only thing I don't like about Kotaku was the whole conspiracy, but she gone, she water on the bridge, she owed news. But yeah, I understand. But I mean, still though, I mean, you're about to say Sabres. What were they saying on social media about the company?
Well, so the Kotaku article sort of breaks down some of the stuff that the report has in it. It says Kojima Productions, the studio, blah, blah, blah. You know what that is. It says they're now simply known as Number 8 Production Department. It says their computers are apparently not connected to the internet, and all they can do is send internal messages. It says that employees leaving the company offices during lunch break are having their absences monitored with time cards, so you kind of have to check. You have to check out, basically. Like, those who stay out for too long are having their names announced throughout the company. Says there are cameras in office corridors that are not there for security, but to monitor the movements of employees. Says most employees do not have their own permanent company email address. It says most people, staff who deal with people outside the company, such as sales and PR, do, but everybody else routinely has their address randomized and changed every few months. They say that there's that's possibly to. It says one Konami employee had told them a while back that was done to prevent headhunting, people poaching them from the company and whatnot, so they would never keep the same.
This shit sounds ridiculous.
They can never keep the same email address for too long. The one thing it says, one former employee, right? They posted on Facebook that they were leaving Konami and had a new job somewhere else. The post was monitored by the company, and anybody who liked the post was shuffled around in the company. Basically, you were moved from one position to another. Like, you may have had a prestigious position or something like that, but they might move you somewhere else where
you're the janitor. One day I had an office, now I'm cleaning toilets.
And that's kind of actually some of the things. It says the developers who aren't seen as useful are reassigned to jobs as security guards, cleaning staff at the end, and it's actually you're absolutely right. They become janitors and stuff like that. So,
oh wow,
the things that they're doing, right? The things that they're doing, right? Just don't make any sense. And it's not that simple that it's about data security, not tier or no tier,
My thing is that if you look at the way they handled Hideo Kojima and also the Castlevania person, two of the big heads of Konami left, and not to mention that the dying of the Silent Hill, like, you could tell there's something going wrong with the company.
Because when you have computers that are capable of connecting to the open internet, there shouldn't be any concerns about data leaks in that situation. Generally, everybody is under some sort of contract in most cases where they aren't to speak of certain things if you have that privilege. And then
what do they got to data leak? They don't got shit.
Already locked down.
We already know what they have.
There are so many companies like that. If that were the case, then none of these companies would have internet access in their offices. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that's true.
There's no justification for the way that Konami is treating that company. Their offices are basically on lockdown. You know what I mean? You can't do anything.
That's so weird. Konami used to be a very solid company, and just over the last years, like Ubisoft and some of the other ones, man, they just go so crazy. I don't know what they're doing. Like I said, it's like maybe they just need to slow the roll a little bit. I know their stock hasn't been doing too good because of this. It's just so weird. You know, you're getting rid of people who had the Midas touch. You know, like that old song from the 70s. You know, I have that Midas.
Yeah,
Everything I touch turns to gold. You know, I mean, you leave it alone.
And again, right, like you're probably responding in this way because you think that it just came from the Kotaku article. All they did was report on a report that everybody else reported on. IGN reported on it, PC Gamer reported on it, Polygon reported on it. Like, all of the outlets reported on it. I'm sure GameSpot was talking about it. So, I mean, you can look around and find out. Like, no one, you're probably the only person that I can find that's defending Konami's actions and saying, like, that's standard the way. It's not standard because if it were, no one would be complaining about it.
My big thing is they let Hideo Kojima go. They removed all his name off all that. They lost the big developers for Castlevania. They're making their own game now. And then now it's like it's just getting worse and worse.
He was the producer.
He did work on the Phantom Pain.
I just don't understand.
No, I'm talking about
the big thing is they also they lost like one of the biggest gaming franchise, Silent Hill, and everybody that's been like with Konami forever, right? And I just find it really weird that so much crazy stuff has really been going on. I mean, I hope they get their things together. But for me,
you call
at
it
least,
being lax. All right.
I don't even know. I don't know. It's just in general, man.
Oh, you're one of those guys, huh?
Well, I mean, it's not a matter of fact. I mean, if you look at the Hideo Kojima thing on the name on the game, they removed it. If you look at the developers from Castlevania, he's already developing his new game. Their stock market's down. It's not looking good. Right? Yeah, it's just you just look at the
way
evidence.
Konami is doing business is just not how you do business. The way they're running the company is not how you run a company. You know, people talk. They talk about places that are great places to work. And I don't imagine anybody's going to say that Konami is a great place to work right now or has been a great place to work for the last
Well, I
few
mean, look
years.
at the biggest companies. Google doesn't do that. Apple doesn't do that. All these other big companies are doing fine. They don't have them be under, like, silent treatment and, you know, basically
and they
no
have
internet
absolutely
connections.
no problems with data leaks. And it's funny, right, because you talk about this. All the measures that they're taking, right, all of this stuff, but you know, you want to say, oh, well, it's standard and everybody else is lax. But Konami is the only company who is having their secrets exposed to the public. Nobody else there's no stories coming out about any of these other companies treating their employees that way, you know, having all of these security, like having a high level of security in certain things where what is the word that I'm looking for? Certain data is it's not critical. That's not the word that I'm looking for, but sensitive information. You know what I mean? That's standard. Yes, you want to protect that and whatnot, so that you don't have the problems like you had with the Sony leak a while back when they got hacked and their emails got, you know, released and all of that stuff like that. And a bunch of movies got, you know, leaked to the internet. But again, that's generally normal as well.
Wonderful movies.
But you don't see many of these other companies, even some of the AAA developers, having these problems because they don't treat their staff like shit. And it's funny that all the measures that Konami's taken to try to keep things secret and keep shit close, it's all getting exposed anyway.
Well, when you make people very angry and spiteful, people will find a way to hurt you.
Right, you can't stop them talking. Even if they don't go on, all right, well, they'll go to the bar. They'll go talk to a reporter somewhere else.
They can go home and they can go anonymously on the internet and their anonymity and say a bunch of stuff about the company.
And the reason they're talking is because that shit is abnormal, and that's not how you run a business. You don't run it like it's a prison. You don't treat your employers or your employees like they're prisoners. You know, it's not how that goes. I mean, there are security firms who don't do those kinds of things.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see how Konami ends up being
They
at the
do
end of this
background
year.
checks and all of that.
Well, I mean, we're already halfway through. Do they have any good games coming out besides the Metal Gear Solid 5? They're probably banking on that for this year.
Probably not. No,
That'll be a big thing on their fiscal report.
They canceled Silent Hills. I don't think anybody's checking for any new Castlevanias that make. Konami's done. They're done. The CEO, whoever's running the company right now, he's going to have to get fired if they have any hopes of surviving. They're probably not worried about it because they intend on moving into the mobile.
Plus, they do got Metal Gear Solid 5, and you know how that's going to sell. That's going to sell instantly. Because I do believe it's coming on all platforms.
There's a difference between high security, man, and what Konami's talking about. And I'm not going to waste my time even trying to have the discussion with you. Because, like, just based on the way you responded and the things you said, you have a very, I guess, set way of thinking, and you'll never see things because you're focused on one way of thinking. So you miss a lot of things, I feel. So there's no point in discussing it with you. We'll just move on to the next topic.
I kind of find that, I mean, it's just crazy.
This next topic is what?
Oh, this was the one that we were talking about earlier this week with the whole Trick 2G thing.
Or I'll let you guys, if you have anything more to say about this situation, but I just feel like we'll go in on this and then, like, I mean, their stock, it's for Konami, man, and what they're doing.
Their stock went down. They remove all Hideo Kojima's stuff off his name off their stuff, and he's leaving the company.
And all they do is make video games. Bro. They don't even work for. They're not even a government firm or anything.
They pissed off a lot of people who really like the Silent Hill franchise, and it's just the writing is on the wall. I mean, I think they're going to keep going down. It's crazy. They're going to go down the
we have even more. Government organizations and whatnot. Their goings about have implications on a global scale. Mm-hmm. Certain things that they do, certain conversations they have could spark a war. You know what I mean? But you have to go through security clearances. Yeah, that's standard. That's normal in those places, right? You know what I mean? But you don't even hear about
for a video game company, I don't think we need to do all that. Yeah. It's just, it's not necessary. But next time,
security is one thing, but yeah, I mean, just being oppressive is something totally different.
Right. Trick 2G, I really never liked this guy that much.
Well, I don't care for Trick 2G.
See, that's actually funny, right? This is really funny. Go ahead, Debo. I'm gonna let you take this one first.
My big thing with the Trick 2G thing, I don't like him because he teaches people stupid shit that they do with my rank and causes me to lose. No, fuck the gates, man.
Open the floodgates. You don't respect the pain.
No, fuck no, man. But my big thing is. Looking at it from what's the phrase I want to say? I'm looking from it from an unbiased opinion, just looking at everything on face value. Is that if you guys didn't know, Trick 2G at the end of his 24-hour stream, I think it was his birthday or was celebrating certain milestone in his career.
Yeah, he was celebrating 400,000 followers or something like that. At least that's what I heard. That's what I was told.
And there was a 24-hour stream, and at the end of the 24-hour stream, he hired some friends to do a fake SWAT. And whether or not you could tell that it was fake or not, and they're just playing around, the way I feel is I think he should have got banned for a little bit because it's not a joking matter. However, if you were going to ban only Trick 2G about that kind of stuff, you would have to moderate and do a lot of different things for everything else. And
there are, to touch on that, there are so many things on Twitch that people joke about that are not joking matters every single day, from the streamers themselves to the viewers.
I agree.
And no one gets punished, nothing gets said. Fact of the matter is, there wasn't deserved at all. It was 100% fake. And here's the thing, right? Even if it was real, right? Even if it was supposed to be real, even if he was trying to pass it off as being real, he swatted himself. He didn't swat anybody else. He broke no laws. He broke no laws. He's a streamer. He pretended to do something.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Twitch is the judge, jury, and executioner, so they have every right to ban him if he did.
Right there, we can end the whole conversation.
However,
if we just put it like based
on
that.
The thing I was just trying to make a point real quick was that he faked doing it. Do I think he should have got banned? Yes, because swatting is not a joke. And just what's going on.
I don't think he should have got banned.
Well, like I'm saying, by Twitch's standards, they have every right.
Niggers is not.
I mean, like I said, I'm just let me get a second. I'm just trying to make a point here. Is that I get it? Like I'm saying, I'm just trying to make a point real quick. I think he should have got banned for what he's did, and I think everybody else between the racism, between all the showing of the provocative sexual attire, the people faking for donations and faking handicaps for that, the streams that are unfocused for gameplay. If you're going to go after one person, and I think this is why Twitch undid Trick2G's situation, because they realized that they would have, when the fans start hashtagging CaseyTron and everything like that, and people start getting it crazy like free Trick2G, and this actually it turned into some drama between CaseyTron and some other stuff.
Me, man. That was just me. I did that. I got him free. That was all me.
And,
I said one tweet, boom, got banned.
Then they get free.
And
Free trick.
the biggest thing is, if you're not gonna, the funny thing is, you know, if you can't ban him over that, and then let all the other stuff that goes on Twitch go through, between the racism with Gig, between the troll-like behavior of CaseyTron, the provocative dressing, the unfocused gameplay, you would have to regulate and go after everybody else too. And technically, he did nothing illegal inside of their company. They didn't do anything wrong. You know, that's just how it is. You know, that's how I feel. But, you know, he only got banned for a day. And they undid it because I think they realized their error in their ways. And then Trick2G, you know, he has a lot of subscribers, and they don't want to lose out on that revenue.
Here's my take on it, right? Put your aluminum foil hats on right now. Here's my take on it. Twitch was in on it. And was part of the whole thing. That's why it was only one day, right? That's the whole thing. What if this is true? No one knows if it is or not, because it was just a one-day ban, right? Why ban a guy from one day after making such a big deal about, oh, this is no laughing matter and da-da-da-da? If you really want to make a point and drive it home, permanently ban a nigga, right? But on top of that, ban everybody else for all the bullshit that they do, bro. You know what I'm saying? We were just the little Arab, the German Arab chick that I was talking about yesterday, right? Now I told you she got a 30-day ban for threatening to blow up Riot HQ and waving a knife around my screen.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Did she really?
But yeah, she did that shit.
Did she actually get the month ban though? I think she did, right?
Yeah, she got banned for 30 days. But here's the thing, right? Trick2G actually did nothing wrong, right?
Nope.
That was meant as a big bang to sort of entertain his viewers. He didn't try to cause a panic or anything like that. You could tell it, right? Like the guy said, him throwing a punch at a cop. Come on, let me tell you something, right? And then I heard I read a Twitter said this shit set me the fuck off, right? One of the league players, Dexter or something, CLG, he used to play for CLG. He's a bitch. Fuck him. You know what I'm saying? And here's why I say that, right? Because he's like, oh man, this is traumatizing. Have you ever been swatted, Dexter? Have you ever had motherfuckers who ran up in? Let me tell you something. When I was 15 years old, bro, the Fed snatched me out of my bed in the motherfucking morning. I was sleeping, dog. I know I've been through that shit, and I ain't traumatized seeing this motherfucking SWAT and shit. You know what I'm saying? Because it ain't nothing. Shit, just a few months ago. Just a few months ago. I know, I can tell the difference. I know it's fake. I know it's fake, and I know when it's real. Because let me tell you something. That stream would have ended immediately. Police saw that camera, they'd have smashed that motherfucker. Broke it. Computers, boom, toss, bam. Plus, they ain't gonna come in there with two people. You feel like you're in the ghetto?
Just
well, go fuck yourself.
with shades on and all that shit.
But they don't come in there with two people, bro. You know what I'm saying? They're not gonna wait until you on the stream. That's not how they do shit. Plus, if his garage door was open like it was, they would just walk in.
Yep.
You know, they would just walk in. Plus, you can see it. If they called in, you can see what's going on. They can see exactly what's going on inside if it was a quote-unquote swatting, the way that they do swatting before. Police usually get a tip, say that something's happening. But if you can actually see exactly what's going on inside of a building, which you can because its garage door was open, you see that nothing's happening.
And I bet you that Trick2G had a sense to call the police at headquarters and put him on the no SWAT or the SWAT anti-SWAT list where they call his house before if somebody does call anybody in. I guarantee you he already has that done. They actually offer that option to streamers. They can call the police department, tell them if anybody makes a I stream a lot online, I'm a personality. If somebody calls this place and says, I'm doing this, then what they do is they call your house and verify is everything okay, and then if something happens then they'll come and check it out. But I'm pretty sure he's on that list. You know, it's just a lot of sensitive people getting upset. Oh, no, I'm not that big, man. But if it happens, it happens.
It's shot, man. Rip.
I mean, okay, there he is. I thought we discussed.
Like I said, if Twitch really wanted to ban them, they would not have unbanned them. No amount of pressure If it was that serious of an offense, no amount of pressure would make them go back on their decision.
He makes them too much money
if they
between
felt
ad
like
revenue
he
and
deserved a
subs.
ban, they would have done it. I feel like the whole ban was either to temporarily appease people, but I mean, do you really think people are going to be appeased by a one-day ban if they saw that?
No.
Truth be told, I think the ban was a part of the whole situation. That was part of the whole thing. Twitch was in on it.
Yeah.
Twitch was in on it.
But what would
The
they
ban
gain
was
from
a
being
part
in
of
on
the,
it?
part of the whole thing. They gained nothing.
Okay, I guess.
It's just to be a part of something. To be, hey, they did that just to be cool with one
My
of their
crazy thing is
their featured
just
streamers or one of their partners.
If they,
you know?
I think, and I understand you said with the tinfoil hats, but I think it was just like with the money. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying like the money decision. When I think they look at those subs and shit, I was like, there's no way he's gonna be banned for that long. Because I said, you want to know why? And it took me a day to think about it because I just hated him. I was like, fuck Trick 2D. I'm glad he got banned. I said, nah. Well, you know what? To be honest, if they're gonna allow pink sparkles and all this other stuff and the train wrecks and everything else
is allowed.
you gotta let him do what he got to do.
Twitch is judge, jury, and executioner. This is the truth. Twitch is judge, jury, and executioner in this situation. However, right, all of this other stuff they overlook, right?
Yeah.
He did not swat anyone. He broke no laws.
No, he did not.
He broke no laws. He did nothing any worse than anything you'll go and see in any of these random.
Hell, I seen Jenna the squirrel and I turned in. She was pulling up stockings up in her skirt, and I'm like, how does this not get banned?
Quote unquote personalities on Twitch that pretend to be people and pretend to do things every single day. You know, hate on Trick 2G all you want to, right?
Yeah, I don't like him, but fair
if you
is
hang
fair.
out in this stream, if you've been here, if you've been here for any amount of time, you've heard me and Debo talking about this. You know my feelings about what I called him, Earl Gates, right?
Yeah,
That was his name, right? Because I didn't know his real name. I called him Earl Gates, right? The character of Trick 2G, and I said this months ago that this is a character this guy plays, which it is, right? The character of Trick 2G is someone that I don't like because the real person, I don't know him. So I don't have anything against him as a person. But his character, I hate his persona. And I hate what his persona did to the league community. But at the same time, as a streamer, you have to respect and acknowledge what he did for his viewer base. You know what I mean? Something bringing in something sort of innovative that everybody else tried to jock with the sub wars. You know, now he tried to trademark it at one point, but he was the originator of the sub wars, and he still runs that. You know what I'm saying? So he actually sort of gives back to his community in a way. So with all the hate that he gets, and it's funny because I can see a bunch of people, even some people in this chat, who will say fuck Trick 2G or he deserved that, right? And then I'll go and check the people that they're following, and they've got Casey Tron, and they follow Nicole Slaw, or they follow Good Idea Gaming or Gig. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like you guys are fucking hypocrites. Twitch is a fucking hypocrite as a corporation, as a business, as a company.
Is a hypocrite.
No, life ain't no motherfucker. Life is real than a motherfucker. Life the realest motherfucker you'll ever meet. But Twitch is full of hypocrites, and Twitch, the company, is full of hypocrites. They have no moderation team. They have no admins, and honestly, I cannot wait until YouTube gaming is up, and I hope Google runs a tighter ship than Twitch does. Because Twitch is a fucking cesspool. The streaming platform is a piece of shit, right? And most of there are some solid streamers here. You know, not everybody. It's not about the people, man. There are some solid streamers here, and there are some solid stream viewers. There's some respectable people where you can have a real legitimate conversation and discussion about games, and in some cases some stuff that's not about games. But you can have it with real people that have the capability of having an intellectual conversation and having shit not go crazy and go off the rails. But you go to any of these larger streams, you see the chat is crazy. It's full of toxic nonsense.
Just
That
crazy
contributes
troll
absolutely
stuff.
nothing to anything. Yet we allow this. We remember a few months back, man, when that one DJ was having a party on stream.
Oh my
You know, people
gosh.
out there doing music. Bro,
Yeah.
there were Twitch staff. No, it wasn't Steve Aoki. I don't remember the DJ's name. But they were at a mansion. They were at a mansion party in like either Miami or Beverly Hills or something like that. But there were girls doing Jello shots. There were girls doing shots out of belly buttons. There were girls doing shots off each other's butts. They were making out with each other. This what the stream was. There was a little bit of music in the background. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And there was a little bit of stuff in the background. You know what I mean? But we don't know what YouTube will do in terms of it.
I can be real.
They can't be any worse than Twitch.
I'm going to be honest, because I'm monetized at YouTube and they send me money every month. Like, they have a zero tolerance to shit. And if people can report your content. And if people report your content, then it flags a certain way. Then you have to dispute it. Then you have to actually wait for them to get back. It causes a lot of headache and a lot of problems. And then you're only allotted 3 strikes within the YouTube system. Once you get 3 strikes, your channel's taken down forever. So if you dispute stuff and you lose a claim, you get a strike. So basically, long story short, people would rather produce content or people who release monetizing their stuff they don't want to get into that situation first of all, because if you do, it's just going to cause you a lot of stress and then you lose all your subscribers. You don't want to do that. So that's why people really don't fuck with YouTube, because the money is lucrative and it is very nice. But you don't produce content that can get flagged. Copywriting, hatred, people flag it for inappropriate things. People flag it for 18 years or older, restricted. That cuts away a lot of your market in video games, because if your thing is restricted and the kid got this thing restricted on his YouTube account because his parent watches shit, he can't watch the video. Long story short, YouTube has their own way, and maybe the YouTube people don't monitor your things, but people, if enough reports flag on that video, it will run and you'll have to dispute it and it causes you a nightmare. You know, that's all I wanted to say real quick about the YouTube thing. Twitch is a little bit different because, in all honesty, there is no government for governing for your kids. And I don't know, Save, is you still there?
Yeah, I'm
okay. Good.
Yeah, we're here listening to you.
So I just want to make, because I know we got before we couldn't hear him.
Yeah, Ray called done.
And the big thing is the difference between that and YouTube. I think the difference with the way YouTube has their system the way it does is so big in the world. And it's just a bigger infrastructure, and it's backed by Google, and they don't play because they want to make sure they get their payments out and they do their system the right way. Twitch is still new. Twitch got acquired by Amazon, and the weirdest thing, they still haven't. I remember people say Amazon hasn't done nothing with Twitch yet.
It doesn't look like they have. It's still the same.
They don't have, the music you're playing and it links over to Amazon. They don't have, yeah.
Oh, okay, I know what you mean, like the integration.
Yeah, if I was Amazon, I would have been on that. Could you imagine? Amazon front page. Go to Amazon to buy your stuff. All streamer partners, hey, let's set up your Amazon link. So if people buy anything from Amazon, there's so much they haven't done nothing with them yet. And the sad thing is, a lot of the times nowadays, it's a business at the end of the day, right?
Yeah.
So as long as you bring in subscribers, as long as you bring in them rad revenue, I'm not trying to say nothing against Twitch. I think Twitch has done a lot of good things for the video game community, and I think they can monitor this a lot better. But in all honesty, it's all about profits, margins.
Yep.
And as long as you make a profit, no matter how cesspool you are, unless it gets really, really bad, they will let you continue on. Now, somebody like Gig, they had to deal with, I think, with the whole thing with Gig, with racism and what's going on, I see how that could have been a very bad company PR thing, so they had to deal with him. But even then, he came back for a little bit, and they shut him down a second time after he kept doing the same thing. But with Gig, with racism, that's something you got to deal with. Well, he might come back, who knows? But with Gig, it was a racism thing, and it's not debatable. The things that he was doing. So they dealt him, but then that took too long. But everybody else is debatable, and as long as they keep pulling in money. I remember even when Tally used to do raffles, where everybody puts in $1, that gives you one lot, and then at the end of the month he raffles away a PlayStation for 400, 1,500 people put in $1, and he keeps the extra, and they had to redo everything, and they banned him for 2 days for that. And he was making lots of money that way. It's like, as long as you got enough subscribers and ad revenue, they will really considerably rethink before banning you or getting rid of you. And I think in the future, Twitch is going to allow everybody to be a partner
Nah, I
instantly and
think
let everybody
Twitch
have a
didn't
subscribe
thrive off
button.
of silliness. Twitch
And
thrived
on
off
us.
of
You know,
gaming, and Twitch, you know what made Twitch thrive? And this is going to be like, a lot of people are going to dispute this, but League of Legends made Twitch. It really did.
Why would
Because
they dispute that? I agree with that.
It's the biggest game, because if you were around, nobody, like, Twitch was a fledgling. They were Justin TV, then they had the little gaming section over
first
there.
it was you stream and live stream, and then we started streaming League of Legends and StarCraft, and those games got big. Then Own3D came along, and then they had Justin
and that's where
TV, and Justin
everybody
TV was just getting started. And what happened with Justin TV was a young individual who used to go around and live stream everything, and that's how it started with the site. Justin TV turned into Twitch TV, but they had both Justin TV and they had Twitch. They slowly automatically integrated all the gamers over to Twitch. Twitch was way stricter back in the day. They didn't have any of these troll stuff. They had a lot of stuff they would not play. A lot stricter and harder to get partnered and harder to get sub.
Sub too, yeah.
Sub was only in beta, and only certain individuals could get it based on their counts.
Your numbers actually had to hit. There are people now that are getting subbed, and you check them, and you can't find a history of them anywhere. They don't have YouTube numbers, they don't have Instagram numbers, they don't have Twitter numbers, and they cannot possibly have the Twitch numbers. You know what I'm saying? They haven't been streaming long enough. You used to have to be streaming
for a while. You used to. I can tell you, you had to average
schedule as well.
You had to average at least about. Basically, if you were streaming, like, let's say 20, 30 hours a week, you had to be averaging at least 300 viewers. And if you couldn't average that, what you had to do, let's say you only had 100, that means you would have to stream more to meet their baseline average of views a month and have like 10,000 followers as a minimum. There was a lot of minimums you had to have, and even then you were still reviewed. You still had to be reviewed by somebody. My first application got denied, and then once I put in the numbers and just basically went at it for 3 months straight, I finally got partnered. And then, much later on, I got a sub button. That was a whole nother monster. And sub needed even more.
I remember that because I've been around. I was around for that.
I was trying to get my sub button. Remember that? And then,
yeah.
But now it's.
Damn, y'all knew each other that long?
Yeah.
I thought Symbius just came out of nowhere.
I was hanging out in the stream and whatnot. I didn't
So
I just popped on break call.
And so now it's just now Twitch. I mean, the whole streaming thing started off good, but it's been about 5-6 years. It's getting older now. We're about approaching 10 years, right? So now it's all about business, and now businesses give everybody a partnership because even if they make some revenue, that we're making something. Until they get $100 worth of funds, we don't have to pay it out. And then we can just give everybody a sub button because if they even get 10 subs, that's another $25 we're pulling in.
Well, I'm just tired of companies having zero integrity. Twitch is $1 billion company, great. So much so that Amazon saw something in them, that was worth purchasing for that much money. But here's the thing, right? Where is that value at? Like, where is it? Twitch back in the day was great. I remember I used to watch tons of Twitch streams, man. Especially when the greater people, like when TSM moved to Twitch, and when some of the CLG guys came over here. Twitch had the better WoW streams as well. You had the Monoflats guys over on like Insidia and stuff, but like various Chinese guilds and whatnot like streamed WoW over on Twitch. So Twitch started to get the better streams, but it wasn't some weird sort of kooky sitcom or anything like that, or some bad reality show. It was about the games. Or maybe it was for me at least. Exactly, like MLG.
None of this stuff before Casey Tron and the ladies, and also the people like Zillion OP and the Gig. Before all that, it was legit. It was hard, yeah.
The
people would get flamed
off at first.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But as it became more popular and it became more profitable, those people start generating that income with the troll-like behavior. That's become the mainstay of how things are. I feel like
when the kids grew up, it just got worse.
Yeah, that's true. And they start getting access to money and shit. And you know what? I really hope YouTube. I think YouTube is going to do a better job. In all honesty, it's just they need to get their platform
right. They do. Like that's my hope, and it could just be what I'm saying. It's like, good luck,
The girl would twerk for me.
That's so bad.
I hope not, bro. Because here's my thing with that, man. listen, if we gonna be like, well, let them make their money, don't hate them. Well, can I sell crack on YouTube? Is that okay if I sell pills on my channel? Can I use my channel for that?
Hey,
I know it's technically illegal. You know what I'm saying? But
it's
well,
not
can I
to twerk.
Well, can I have women strip on my channel?
Well, the funny thing is that the same people that complain that people say twerking is okay, when you have a daughter one day and she's doing it, then everybody does it. Then you want to be a hypocrite.
If I had a daughter, I would kill her.
They don't have any mods. That's the problem. Not like I honestly feel like Twitch doesn't have any mods. I don't know if anybody works for Twitch. I think it's just one guy counting money. They got like as Debo said, they've got a network guy. You know what I'm saying, to keep the servers going.
But I'm just telling you, it's just standard American business practice. If I was running Twitch, I would run Twitch the same way to maximize profits, because at the end of the day, if I'm the head person, I know I get paid company bonuses if I make a certain amount of profit. I don't. Here's the other thing. Politicians, people in high position, CEOs, they don't care about you. Not that they don't actually care about people. What it means is, if you were in their position and you were making money, you would do whatever it takes. If your wife's saying, hey, Billy and Joel are getting ready to go to college next year, and they're going to Harvard, and we need to have this much money because our kids are stupid, I want to go to a fine education, you're going to need to make this bonus, and you're going to have to go to Twitch TV, or let's say you work at Twitch or Google or whatever, any place, you're going to say, like, what can I cut or what can I do to maximize profits? It's not correct, but the thing is, from a gamer standpoint, business standpoint, you always say, we understand. From a gamer standpoint, it's terrible. And now for me, I don't know, it's kind of weird. I mean, I know I work with under Twitch and stuff like that, but like, no offense to Twitch, like I've grinded for every single thing I have, and I'm still nowhere near what some new people came in. There's a political system where if you know some people, you can get away. I know, but that doesn't win you anything. Who you know at Twitch? Do you know some major big admins? Do you know, like even Destiny was talking about this other day, if you piss somebody off at Twitch, you're fucked. If you get the wrong person mad, you're fucked. If you know the right people, hey, your page gets on the front page. A lot of people think it's just one, if you work really hard and people like you, you'll blow up. There's a lot of things that go into it. Do you view bot or not? Do you not? Like, if you look at every other aspect of the world, if you look at sports, steroids, cheating, mishandles, scandals, crazy stuff, racism, you look at CEO companies cheating people out of stock and all their shit that they own, and all their retirement funds, and you see the corruption in governments. What makes you think that even in streaming that's protected? Everything has a little bit of thing, like it's a political thing. So you got, and that's just how it is. They don't regular deal with them. No, it is very sad, because you want to go to Twitch. You want to watch some tournament games and stuff like that. You want to maybe go watch somebody of a new game that's coming out, so you see whether or not you want to buy it. You might have a favorite streamer that they're doing a podcast like we do, or this guy might have some good information. But it's now, it is all like a cesspool of shit. You got people coming in, no views, no YouTube following, nothing like that, just rolling into this motherfucker. They got a donate link, they got a G2A link, they got a fucking Amazon wish list, right? And then they got all that stereotypical shit in their chat, and they haven't even really got it fabricated. People come in here and be like, who the fuck are you? Why do you get 600 views? Nigga, I've been in the game for 4 years. I got a YouTube channel. I got all my likes on Facebooks. I got all my shit right there. And then I had people come in and give me view bots and shit like that. And I told people, like, what I'll tell you guys right now, I was dealing with the issue with a couple weeks back, because something wasn't adding up with my numbers and my ad revenue. I'm no dumb. Lucky I was able to fix the problem, and my numbers kind of returned back to, I was like, okay, cool, everything's kind of returned back. I was looking into that shit. My big thing is this: everybody is just trying to jump in on that gravy train, but no one wants to put the hard work and effort. And the only way to succeed, if you do it legit, you do it like you do educational or helpful shit to try to go communities, it's gonna take you a long time, and it's gonna be slow going. It's gonna be painful. That's what I'm going through.
Debo, I just want to be the one-hit wonder of Twitch.
Amen.
Well, see, I'm that dude who does everything by the book.
Yeah,
I'm the guy at work,
and we're losing.
Does everything by the book. And it's like, listen, man, everybody cuts corners. You guys are popular with the customers because you do things you're not supposed to do. And I'm unpopular because they come to me looking for that same thing, and I tell them, like, no, we don't do that.
And you know
what I mean?
how we run the chat. We don't deal with that shit. If you get crazy, we get rid of you because we want to keep a distinguished kind of chat. We don't allow for all that crazy racism or crazy spam shit. We don't play it. That's why Nightbot goes crazy and shuts people down. Like, no. This is not one of those channels.
Wait, I can't be racist? Damn.
Well, I mean, you know, at the end of the day,
I'm choking.
Yeah, the big thing is that I'm going to be honest with you. If you want to get ahead in this social media game or you wanted to become a streamer, the best thing for you to do is learn how to viewbot at a high level, provide some kind of gimmick kind of content to just kind of lure people in, and be somebody who you're not and do whatever the kids want to see, because that will get you ahead. Whether it's exploiting racism, whether it's exploiting having a troll chat where you don't say nothing and everybody says a bunch of racist comments, whether you just be a very attractive person and you present, you know, how you look, and you just basically anything you can do that a young kid from the ages of 12 to maybe 20 that you know a male demographic would like to see or might be into, if you do all those things, you will be more successful than a person who comes in and puts good attempts in to help this, you know, community go and all that. You know, now if you want to be somewhat legit and do it legitimately, you're going to have to eat a lot of ass. You're going to have to put your tongue in everybody in the community. You're going to have to maybe pay people off. You're going to maybe have to rub somebody's shoulders who's already established and just literally just suck their dick until they just tell you, yes, you're finished. And, nigga, right? Well, I mean, that's what they do. And then that's like, so it's either you cheat and do what you got to do to get ahead and just do that raunchy lowbrow shit which sells, or you got to know some people in the community and know people higher up to get through. If you're a new streamer, like, it is fucking hard. It is fucking hard. People think it's an easy thing, but I have to hustle myself. And some months are good and some months are bad.
It was what, like, you know, and it's so, it's sort of, I kind of felt bad for Sky because he got, people ganged up on him and he really couldn't defend himself well enough. And I don't know the guy. None of his friends could defend him properly. Like, no, you know what I'm saying? He didn't have anybody. It was funny because the little situation turned into like a 4-on-1 debate. Which that's not how debates work.
I'm going to tell you, well,
usually have equal players on both sides.
I don't think, and I love Destiny. Destiny's my homeboy, but you couldn't consider Destiny's opinion like relevant on the situation because he did.
I'm not saying it, but I mean, they came in there and Total Biscuit was full of shit just the same.
The way
they tried to defend all of this nonsense, bro. But there are so many female streamers who are legit, right? And this shit takes away from what they do.
My big thing is that they all had, it was an easy way for them to make money. It was an easy way to get them more exposure and it makes it look good. Right, because Destiny streamed with Caseytron many times. They even said date night with Caseytron and their duo streaming together. Of course they're networking. Of course it's going to be in their best interest. Of course it's going to be in the best interest of Total Biscuit to say that, because the funny thing is a lot of the YouTubers,
this is the shit that bothers
they look at Twitch and they kind of been saying like, what the fuck is going on with streaming? Even some pro COD players said they didn't want to come over because they see what we're going through with the whole streamer thing.
I can't speak to other streamers because I don't know too much about them in terms of, but I know certain like larger ones, right? I look at your shit, man. You put me on, you know what I'm saying? I ain't partnered or nothing, but, you know, you help me sort of get it started. If he streamed, he would put you on. He put Riken on, you know what I mean? Like, he encouraged Riken to stream and promoted him. Like, Debo, I've seen Debo promote at least 3 to 4. Then I see y'all can attest to it because you see the people that he hosts. You know what I mean? Now, yeah, there's a few other guys who, like, host things and they'll share hosts and stuff like that, but I mean, there are larger streamers, right? And this is the fun, because maybe I think differently because I'm such a nice person, and everybody thinks that I'm an asshole, but you have to understand how my mind works. So I look at a guy like Day 9, right? Day 9, if I were Day 9, if I were established as him, I would have like a Day 9 How to Be a Better Gamer network, and I would have someone who represents Day 9 TV under every competitive game or non-competitive game. If there is a way to teach this game, there's going to be someone with a Day 9 t-shirt teaching this fucking game. There's going to be someone on Day 9 TV or Team Day 9, 24 hours a motherfucking day, getting that Day 9 TV money. You know what I'm saying? That's what I would do.
And it would have been a better
like,
impact because then that would have been good for the community. And then they could have and then they could have featured people who are doing good streams for the community and featured them on the thing. They could have just
exactly. You look at Total Biscuit, right? Total Biscuit could have done the same thing.
But they get so involved with their money, they don't worry about nobody else. They don't want competition. They never do.
He wants you guys to believe that he's this hyper intelligent. And I don't doubt that he has some degree of intelligence and whatnot. But I know him from his origins. You know, I saw him from his beginnings when he was a nobody.
I remember when he was trying to raise money and his wife couldn't even afford to have her teeth fixed, and he was going around trying to scrape up monies and pennies to get that taken care of. And I remember back when he had nothing, like nothing.
And so now, because he's established himself as this personality, right? This persona, you know, because there's a difference between John and Total Biscuit. You know what I'm saying? There's a difference. Right? But he wants you to believe that Total Biscuit is a certain type of person. So he has to maintain that persona. So he's worried about, as you say, his brand. Yeah. Which is not necessarily a bad thing, but I feel like, you know what? There are more than one ways. There are so many ways to grow your brand. You know, now if you're Pepsi and you got this huge fucking, you know, you got this great product and shit like that, and you know everybody wants it, you don't have to worry about putting Coke on. You don't have to worry about your little homie RC Cola, you know what I'm saying? Trying to, you know what I mean? Trying to get the world to know about RC. I want y'all to know about little RC Cola over here, you know what I'm saying? He's a little different from Pepsi, but you know, his shit is bomb too. Y'all should fuck with him. But you know what I'm saying? Like, they're not trying to put other people on. I know they have no obligation to. You know, no one has any obligation.
Well, I say Trick is different because he does.
Well, he had the Team 2G thing. You could say the same thing about Civ and Civ HD with Civ Industries. You know, I'm not sure how much that.
But it's people in this network that he knows and that he can profit off them, and everybody's under him. That's a different thing.
Exactly, and he can fall back, man, and he doesn't have to do anything really because you have employees at this point.
Isn't
See,
that
that's the difference between. Yeah, but that's
people.
But that's the difference between a guy who's meant to run a company and a guy who just makes a little bit of money. You know what I'm saying? Like you know, a lot of these guys they get themselves promoted within the company, whereas the other guy, right? He owns the company. He has those types of people working for him because he was smart enough to be like, you know what? It's not all about me. What I'm going to do, because I'm not very talented myself, I'm going to get some very talented people to work for me, and they're going to build up my network for me because that's my gift is managing people. You know what I'm saying? And getting them to do this thing for me. So I can spot these really, really talented individuals who I know are going to be stars. You look at, let's take it to music, right? You know, look at Lil Wayne. Look at Lil Wayne versus a Jay-Z. Jay-Z is Jay-Z's biggest moneymaker, right? Because he is a narcissist. You know what I'm saying? Jay-Z would never put somebody before him that could take his position. You can actually find him on video, on record, saying this literally. I think it was the Hard Knock Life tour.
Yep.
The video for that, the little DVD or whatever, where he said, man, if I find somebody, you know what I'm saying, I know there's a guy out there, he coming from my spot, he working hard, he at the kitchen table, he writing. He say, man, when I find him, I'm going to sign him because I don't want no problems. And you know who that guy is? It's J. Cole. And Jay-Z is doing absolutely nothing for Cole. Cole is working his ass off to make a name for himself, bro. Jay-Z has done nothing for that man. That motherfucking Cole could be a superstar if Jay would actually do something as an actual CEO, but he does not. Jay-Z did not give the world Kanye, right? It's funny because he's successful.
Yeah, Kanye.
Successful, but Dame was the guy who supported Kanye.
Exactly, it wasn't Jay-Z.
Jay-Z didn't want to push Kanye. Jay-Z just wanted Kanye to keep making beats. He did not want to push him as a rapper.
But as he blew up, then it all changed. And it was like, okay, we'll get your next album out. Okay,
now you look at a guy,
do all that.
I think Drake and Nicki Minaj have made more money for Wayne than Wayne has made for himself.
Probably so.
And that's generally how the industry works. You look at all of these executives and CEOs, all they do is sit back and make money. That's why you don't hear Jimmy Iovine coming out with an album. because he's got Eminem for that. He's got 50 Cent for that, or he had 50 Cent for that. He's got Dr. Dre for that. You know what I mean? He hires people. He doesn't have to be the star himself. He hires stars. And in turn, he actually makes more money than they do. But they're fine because they also get some money and they get some fame out of it.
That's pretty much how it works.
And in turn,
the same thing is on
That's how we need to do
he
Twitch.
set Dr. Dre
Put
up
me on, nigga.
to nearly be a billionaire as well. It's all about knowing how to play the game, and you can get rich and you can be successful while also
bringing
paying
other people
that shit forward.
And then also and that also helps protect your industry and it makes a higher quality level of standards. So people just, unless they have good intentions for the industry, they'll come in and do the right thing. But you see how music, like the industry has been really bad because people weren't trying to protect it and make it legit. They just came in and said, look at Motown, right? Motown was like, we're going to have a certain level of equality, and this is what we're going to do for the label, and we're going to bring in different people, and we're going to have these artists all work together, and we're going to produce a certain type of quality. But it's just, that's what I think that's what happens in anything, though. Whether it be Twitch, whether it be Google, Konami, any big company. Well, Google
I'm going to shorten
this.
Sex
Apple been never good.
Fuck it.
Yeah, pretty much. Sex, ignorance, and lowbrow entertainment sells.
And that's the other thing I always say that, man. It's the lowest common denominator, and that's what Twitch has become. It used to be really such a great site to come to, man, for games.
You would come here, the developers could live stream, right, Savius? They had to have tournaments. You find the best for each individual game, and you might have a guy who's doing a funny comedy stream, but he's like laughing or screaming in game because he's scared.
That's what drew me to this nigga shit. That's why I fuck with you, son.
You know, and that's just how it is.
Information and shit. Now people really don't want to. I mean, even if they're a vet at the game, they really don't want to provide information.
Somebody wanted to ask me quickly what I talked about back to back. I just wanted to say that.
First podcast?
I just wanted to say that.
We're still on topic. This all relates.
The big thing I wanted to say is that just in general, when that song came out, my initial house got set on fire through my speakers, and then I had to build another house. You know. That's all I wanted to say.
Well, I mean, it's not out of control. This is what we do all the time when we get a specific subject that is ignites the passion and
we just try to relate it to real world topics, so some people to make sure everybody grasp it. What direction we're trying to move in. The big thing is Twitch is getting like any other big company, and it's sad to see where it's going, and it doesn't necessarily need to.
You know what I mean? And we can bring it back full circle, and it just comes back to it that you look at, and even some of the people that I named, man. I mean, you're supposed to have this business, and these are your partners. They represent you. Casey Tron represents Twitch. Nicole Slaw represents Twitch. So
Squirrel,
you gotta
Squirrel, that Squirrel girl, Jenny Squirrel.
Right, Jenny the Squirrel, she represents Twitch. So these are the people that are going into your board meetings with you. Here you go. This is one of our partners. But see, they'll never, like a Jenny the Squirrel, a Casey Tron, a Nicole Slaw, none of them can be taken into anything like that because you can't show, because you take that to your shareholders and show them, yeah, this is the quality content that you'll get. Like, what if you're trying to sell Twitch, right? Is that what they showed? I guess they didn't have to show it. They just showed numbers to Amazon because that's how they play the role.
I think so, and they just wanted to acquire it. And see, the difference is with YouTube and Google, they understand that we need to produce a high-level quality of content, and we also need to have a system where we could say, if somebody says, well, what about this lowbrow stuff on Google? Google says, look, we have the parental advisory to flag certain things. We allow our users to report content that might be deemed unfit or not good. We have all these staff members that we pay for, and their job is just to monitor new videos. They can say, we got this, this, and this. Realistically, this is a small percentage of what the bigger whole is. And you think about YouTube, the smaller percent, the biggest channels that make the most are ones that are providing good content that people watch on a regular basis. The people who make those half-ass channels like the twerking, the people who make the channels like zit popping, shit like that, that shit doesn't make up the majority of people who are making good revenue of YouTube, and that can sell companies on why they should advertise.
The prank channels are making nigga revenue.
Well, the prank the prank ones are gonna just backfire eventually and stuff like that. But even then, it's not.
It's all of the guys that are trying to get.
It's no difference than watching a reality. It's not as bad as some reality shows on TV. But I do agree, those are bad.
Everybody that's in those videos is an actor.
It could be too. That's also very true. But at the end of the day, we all can admit that YouTube and Google regulates way better on YouTube than what Twitch does on Twitch. And they actually pay employees and have a system that... You see their automated system. They got an automated system to check for copyright. They got an automated system that checks for... You see they have things in places where you could say, okay, they're not going to get everything, but at least they're attempting. But right now, I don't think Twitch is trying. Because as long as you're making them revenue, you could do no wrong. And that's just how I see it. But yeah, Trick 2G shouldn't even been banned for 1 day. They can't ban Trick 2G, one, because he's too much of a money gain for Twitch, and secondly,
free my nigga,
the big thing
he's
is
already been
they
free.
would have to ban a lot of other people for the things that they do, because that would be
Free
very
my nigga
hypocritical.
McMillan.
But I mean, that's just how it's going. Anyway,
Like I don't think you do like a knee-jerk ban. I don't think the ban was real.
composer
I think they're part of it.
retracts statement about Final Fantasy 12 remake.
Yeah, you remember? I guess maybe
Yeah,
a week
he
ago or
mentioned
so.
that. I don't know why
At
you would
the
do
end of the
that.
podcast, we talked about that one because I had just seen that one where they, he let it slip that there may be a remake or whatever for Final Fantasy 12. Not a whole lot to say about this one. He just retracted the statement. It's like, oh, I wanna say, I misspoke. Because no one was particularly excited for a Final Fantasy 12 remake anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like, no one was particularly excited about a Final Fantasy 12 remake, and I don't think anyone is to this point. People are still excited about Final Fantasy 7 remake, but they don't even know what they're asking for with that one. I told them it's not gonna be the same. Careful what you wish for, because you might get it or you might not. Because I promise you, they're not gonna give you what you actually want with this game. But yeah, who cares if 12 is happening?
That's how I feel. And when they first announced it, like if I was in that position,
what if they said they were remaking Final Fantasy 11?
why would you do that? Don't say that. Just stop. I did tell you about speaking shit into existence. You need to stop speaking stuff into existence, Saviors. The big thing the big thing is that they probably are going to do a remake for 12. It makes company sense. It's easy money. It is easy money, and it's just printing paper.
Was that game really that popular, though?
No, but I mean, it's still going to make a lot of people buy because it's Final Fantasy 12. It was still a solid game, and people are going to buy it regardless, and they don't have to do the remake. They can just make an HD update and put a couple new things in it, and that's it.
That's what they were saying. That's probably a remaster also.
When he said that, see, if I was a person that worked at Square Enix, unless the president or some official document said, this is your job, we need you to name drop that we're going to be releasing this game. Great. Other than that, I'm not saying shit. Like, the composer should know better. Like, if Razer said, Debo, we got this high-tech new thing. Look at this shit hovers, it flips, it does this, it transforms. I'll be like, okay, am I allowed to talk about this or no? No, don't talk about it. Okay, I ain't telling nobody. It sounds like he got a little bit too far ahead of himself. He saw some cool shit, let the name out of the bag, and for Square Enix to be sure that no one gets on their ass about shit or think that, hey, Square Enix, because you know what people were about to say? Square Enix, why are you guys working on so many updates when you don't even finish Final Fantasy 15? Where the hell is that coming? They don't want people to say that, so they said, don't tell them that we're working on so many projects.
Well,
shut up. That shit ain't gonna be ready until 2017.
People are saying that anyway.
Yeah, pretty much.
They don't care.
They really don't.
You'll have to look it up, TJ. If you don't know, you don't need to know. I don't know where the hell you've been that you don't know, so don't worry about it.
You know.
Yeah, there you go, Scatmus. There. Don't worry about it. He didn't do anything. He put on a great show for Twitch, and he did something that the female streamers could never do. He got everybody with their panties up in a bunch, and he even had a bunch of articles written about it. So,
and nobody came to protect the man or say he was man shaming and all this other stuff. It's just crazy.
You've been busy watching Pink.
Hey, you know what? Conan just said the most legit shit all week. He lived up to his name, Trick 2G. He opened the gates on us. He opened the gates on the internet. He's amazing. He could open the gates in real life or not real life. And, you know, it's just, you know what? This is what I say. Is anybody else wants to fake swatting? You should, and they shouldn't get banned until they're going to start banning everybody over rate. Because this was basically showing me what made me so disgusted. They banned him quicker than Gig doing all those months of racism. They banned him quicker than all the people who are not doing focused gaming. And they ban him quicker, and they don't even really ban these people, the people who are wearing provocative clothing or not making it about the stream. They didn't even, like I say, like, so y'all care about a fake swap, but y'all don't want to do nothing about the guy who's reading racist comments about black people and white people and Jews and making thousands of dollars, and it took y'all all this time to finally get that person? And it's just silly. But that just automatically tells you, like, Trick 2G was worth way too much money. But yeah.
It would have been easy to defend, or at least to say that you didn't know about it if it was some tiny stream. But a lot of these streams with the problems that you mentioned, these guys are huge partners of Twitch, so.
But just in general, the composer should have kept his mouth shut. You composer, no one cares about what you have to say about a game. You're a composer.
Well, I think, what was it? He was there. It was somebody who worked, like, I don't think he worked for Square. I think it was someone else. But he had like someone that was like a Square employee there with him. Oh wow. Running a circle, do not to die. That was painful.
That's a long pause.
What's that? Drop bowls. No. Well, I just want to wait till he gets back. But I mean, there's not a whole lot, like I said, to say about the Final Fantasy 12 thing. I think we talked about it, and we talked about it last week. I don't think we care either way whether there's a remake that's going to be made or not. I will go ahead and I guess move us to the next topic.
Gears of War Ultimate Edition.
Hey, there's Debo. He's back. So the Gears of War Ultimate Edition on Xbox One will include the first, or it will include all 4 Gears of War games for 360. When it is released, they will be playable thanks to the backwards compatibility. Oh, there's a blue one. I gotta get them.
Hey, Mexman 3000 said in the comments the best. You're not unlocked with backwards compatibility. You're getting digital copies of the 4 games once they become available to play on Xbox One.
Right.
Here's my big thing.
Who said that? What?
That was a commenter on the Kotaku or Polygon. My big thing is...
I thought it was... What is it? This is supported... Either way, I mean, whether they're digital copies or, you know, even if they're not, I mean... Yeah, I mean, that's what it is. You can.
They need to leave Gears of War alone. They're milking it like a milk sea freight train.
Making another one, so...
Oh.
They'll never leave it alone. Because
which one was the guy who always cried about his white beard? He's still dead, right? As long as he stays dead, I'll be fine. Because he was always crying about his wife, and I was tired. We found your wife.
When I saw this was they're doing what should have been included with it anyway, but it's not even something that's always going to be the case. You have to buy it between, what is it? You have until the end of the year, basically. It comes out on the 25th of this month. You have between the 25th of this month and the end of the year to buy the game and still get those as a quote-unquote bonus or whatever, you know.
I say it's a good thing, though. I mean, at the end of the day, they do get all the games and they can enjoy them. I'm surprised they just didn't make one for, like... But, I mean, you figure they would just make these games digitally available on that, or, like you said, just... Well, I guess the bigger question is I'm kind of mad at Sony. They don't have backwards compatibility for PS3. But then again, maybe that's what kept the system cheaper. Like, wouldn't that make a lot of sense? Like, you know, an emulator or something that could actually play the old games. I know they can do it.
Yeah, well,
I guess they want to push that new unit, I guess.
Sony would be the closest to being able. I mean, them making an emulator for their own hardware would obviously be easier for them to do than, you know, fans. But fans can get it done anyway, you know what I mean? The fans can get it done, so Sony should be able to get it done. It's just a matter of
Or they
creating
could
software that
they could
emulates the functionality of the hardware.
they could evolve the digital scene
Yeah.
to make it so that
Yeah.
when you buy a digital game and let's say you bought a bunch of digital games on PS3, you played on your PS4, it's in PS3 quality on your PS4, right? And then if you want to upgrade to the PS4 quality of that game, you pay the extra. And then it gets noted in your account, you know, okay, this is flagged for digital PS3, digital PS4, so anywhere you log in your account, you can download, play your games, or, you know, something like that along those lines. I'm surprised they don't have something like that so that you can cut through the bullshit, but I know the whole console shit, they want to push sales, and it goes beyond that. They're never going to do that.
So they don't want you to have a PS2. They don't want you to have a, you know, well, they don't want you to play those PS2 games. But here's the thing. I mean, wouldn't it push the PS4 more if it had backwards compatibility?
Exactly. I think it would. Yeah, I'm a chicken right now. I'm a chicken. I'm playing every time I play the crazy chicken build, everybody's like, "That's a chicken! Oh, look at that chicken! It's an AP. It's with hot sauce. Look how spicy it is." But like I said, in a perfect world, we all can agree. Wouldn't it be nice if you bought a digital product once, it can carry over to the next platform, and if you want the higher upgrade, you pay the extra money. In a perfect world, yes. But we all know that's not going to happen, right? But I guess we can be happy that Xbox is being legit with the whole backwards compatibility thing.
Right? If you had, like, let's say you bought
Portal did that. Portal 2 on the Xbox, you could get it on the PlayStation. If you went over to Steam, you own the game, so you could play it on Steam and PlayStation. It would actually pick up where you left off on PS4, and you could play it on PC and vice versa. But that's Valve.
Well, I know with certain little like PS3 and PS4 games like GTA 5, you had to pay a small fee, but
you could
if you
upgrade.
had bought you could upgrade to like the PS4 version if you had the PS3 version.
So they're getting there, but not really there. But they're getting there, and that's nice.
I mean, we can't expect them to give us anything for free, Debo.
Well, that's true.
They're running the business, man,
sometimes when you run a good quality product and you show love to customers, you'll make more money.
With you, man, you know what I'm saying? Because
think of it this way. You know how some companies do the big donations to charities right before some bad shit happens so they don't look as bad in the public eye? If you were to actually cater to your customers and do all this nice shit, if they were to do a big fuck up, like let's say they got DDoS again and security is bad, Sony could be like, hey, who are the people that provide you that digital premium service so you can transfer your games for free? Who are the people there that did this service that made your lives comfortable? And people be like, yeah, you know, they did do all this stuff. Well, let it slide, Sony. Fix your problem. Take your time. And it saves you that good. It's basically preemptive PR. And if you actually can execute it well, when you do fuck up, people ain't gonna get mad at you. Maybe the stock won't fall. Because then people be like, well, look at this, and look at the quality of this, and look what they did before, and look at all this stuff they did. Don't get mad at them. Keep your money in the stock. Or you're gonna be like a Ubisoft, right? Or you're gonna be like a... Could you imagine if Ubisoft would have kept releasing good quality games and everything was good, and let's just say everything was super fantastic, and then people kind of gave them a free pass on Watch Dogs because they did a pretty good. Everybody was happy with Assassin's Creed, but then when you have 2 mistakes in a row, then that kills your cred. I'm just saying that could be preliminary PR for the company. It could make them look good, and then the next time they fuck up, they have something to fall back on.
Doesn't matter. It released in a new Assassin's Creed, and people are still gonna buy it.
Yeah, they are. Just like that new WoW expansion, but that's later on the topics.
Yep.
I think that.
But I mean, that's a good thing for Gears of War, right? We all can agree. There's nothing wrong with that.
People, I just want to say, people like throwing their money in the trash. So hey, it's their money.
Yeah,
so.
you the expert. You should write a blog about that. Tell people what not to do anymore. Do not do what I do.
Do not buy early access.
I still haven't gotten that $70.
See proceeds to still do it no matter what anyway.
Yeah, I mean that's just what some people will do it just to spite some people.
I could have paid for a hooker and had more entertainment.
I think it's just a lot of people think we're just hating on stuff or telling people not to do it. We're just trying to, if we can all, because okay, here's the thing: the greatest stockholders of a company are the customers, right? Even though they don't actually own stock, I know. If we all work together, we could really change what these companies do, because you see it reflected in some situations in certain games where enough people get mad, they'll be like, oh, we got to fix it. Look what happened with Mass Effect 3. Look what happened with Dragon Age. Like, to a certain extent, you know, they kind of listen if enough money's involved.
See, the thing about it is, I don't know. Like some people might find the way that I think to be maybe a little bit naive, but I make no mistake, or make no mistake. I don't have any preconceived notions about. Hey, I understand how business works, and I know that these companies ain't shit, and the people that run them ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? But I'm an idealist. You know, I see the good
we
in people.
always say
and I
that,
think
Savis. And if they
you
listen
know,
to the podcast, and they need to be fair before they start, maybe criticizing you or me or random, what they have to realize, we always say, from a business standpoint, this is ingenious. But from a gamer standpoint, since we have no involvement in the business and we're not getting a paycheck, we can be like that.
It's shitty to do certain things, man, because I feel like you can still make plenty of profit and you can have a great product and you can engage, or you can run a business with integrity. You know, you can do business with integrity.
Yes, you can.
And provide a quality service and a quality product, and you can always satisfy your customers. Now, the customer is not always right. You know, I don't believe in that. And this is here's the problem, right? And the funny thing is, Blizzard is actually operating on that's why Blizzard is so shitty and why their products are so shitty lately, is because they're functioning with that mindset that the customer is always right. They keep listening to these idiots. Like, what was it? I say he's probably not in here now, but he came to my stream and apparently they're bitching because you remember what I said earlier about they're talking about the no flying thing. So there's not going to be any flying in Legion either, and it's a shitstorm on their forums behind that, right? Blizzard should just be like, listen, man, there's not going to be any flying in any future expands. You know, if you want to fly, go back to the old zones and fly. But other than that, I mean, there's not going to be any flying in the new zone.
And
it is what it
you know
is.
what I say?
We don't talk about it no more.
You know what I say? Remember we talked about this a while back, and we said there's going to come a point in time you're defending the subscription tokens, you're defending all this other shit, and when you keep defending the wrong thing, when the one thing you want, like now they don't care because you let them walk all over you. You think they're going to listen to you, so now you don't get your flying mounts anyway. You know what I feel? Flying mounts do not impact what you do inside the game, and it has no effect on how you're going to experience the game outside of the rating and the core content. So just because you can't have a flying mount doesn't mean you should be getting mad and upset. And if you really don't like their decision on that, you should quit the game, because the number one way to show them that you're not happy is to refuse to pay them any more money.
Hit that pocket.
But see, Blizzard is so
thank you, Natural.
deadly afraid. And it's funny, they don't realize it. It's like, listen, you have dropped about 60% of your subs in maybe 8 months, right? 60% of your subs in maybe 8 months. What do you have to lose? More subs? Everybody's not going to leave because of what you're doing. Start focusing on making your game good again. Do what made you popular, right? Do what
focus on customer retention as opposed to trying to draw in all these new people to a 10-year-old game.
You don't have to do a Warcraft 3 again. You don't have to make Warcraft 4 exactly like that. But give people Warcraft 4. You know, bring the greatness of Diablo 2 to Diablo 3. Or look forward to, make some major changes with the Diablo 3 expansion to bring some of that D2 glory back. That people have been begging for. Put trading back into the game. Like, just give them, you got to give the things that are reasonable and stop making up stupid fucking excuses that you remove because they affect your bottom line. You know what I mean? Like, that's just fucking stupid. Make a StarCraft, well, I'm not going to say make a StarCraft 4, but just, wait, they don't even have a 3. Why do I always say 4, man? And
I don't know. I think you're thinking of Warcraft 3.
You know what? I'm predicting something, right? There's gonna be a StarCraft 3. I've seen the future. I know there. I've been there. There's a StarCraft 3. It's really bad. It traumatized me. So I have this reflex to skip over it and go.
Hey, your future self went back in time to systematically remove that game from your thought process and have you skip over it.
Like, no, 3 never existed. Don't let it happen. That's what it is. But I mean, so I'm going to 4. I was only going to 4. But that's what it is, bro. It's like they simply need to do what made them great in the first place, and they'll be just fine. But they keep trying to please everybody, and when they do that, they're not pleasing anybody. And worse, they're killing their own brand. They're killing their own IP. Yeah, you got Hearthstone, but that's not where Thrall belongs. That's not where Jaina belongs. You know, sitting around a fire playing cards, really?
Hey, let me, Sabius.
Oh, next is gonna be Lich
Hey,
King over there.
when Grom comes up and he's like, "We will never be slaves. Let's commence with battles." Exactly. And they start breaking out the cards. They don't fight no more. They just play Hearthstone, right?
Move out the siege weapons. This thing.
The big thing is that these companies and what we're trying to relate to, with the whole Xbox thing and the backwards compatibility and how they did everything with the Gears of War, that's good examples of taking care of your customers who supported that franchise, and that's doing little things and taking the steps to be still profitable and making people happy.
Something that there shouldn't be a new announcement.
No.
It could have been just a given. That bundle should have been, when they first announced Ultimate Edition, this should have been announced right along with it.
Right.
They had already, because they made a big deal about backwards compatibility at E3, right? And that's why so many people were like, yeah, Xbox shit on Sony at E3. It's like, really? So you don't even care that they don't have any games to play. You just care that you can buy a $400, $500 system.
People do that.
To play games.
Some people buy Xboxes just
you
to
already have
say they have
a system
Xboxes
that plays. You know what I'm saying? Like all the games that you actually want to play are on 360.
If you look at Sony,
about that, so I'm gonna buy an Xbox One to play Xbox 360 games. Yeah, and
Sony has games.
They got a great E3.
Yeah, but people always get caught up in that hype of like trying to always put them down and get to that point and stuff. You already know how they do.
Motherfuckers crazy to say that Microsoft had a better E3 than. But anyway, I digress. But yeah, I mean, just about Sony. Sony should have had backwards compatibility with the 4 as well. I don't think that it's that difficult. But then again, I don't know. I don't know anything. Yeah, Nintendo had a shit song. We already said that, and I love Nintendo, man. But even I could admit it. But here's the thing, right? We don't have to question if Nintendo's going to have fun games. First of all, they showed Super Mario Maker. That game alone shits on half the stuff that you can play on, Xbox One and all of that shit. I mean, they make fun games. This is what Nintendo says.
And they work out of the box. You don't have to worry about it having frame drops. You don't have to worry about it. You need an update with day one patch or something like that. It works. And that's my big thing about Nintendo stuff.
Say what you want about the way they do business and the crazy, because they crazy old people. And we know this. We know they greedy. That's why they don't have a PlayStation. Technically superior, no. It's not about technical.
Well,
specs don't make a great game. You can have all the specs in the world and it just be a piece of shit.
My big thing, the funny thing is, the PS4 could have all the tech in the world. Xbox One could have all the tech in the world. PC could have all the tech in the world. But if my game doesn't work,
PS2 still had better games than the original Xbox.
My big thing is that's a big selling point for me.
Console. And then when we're talking about and then when people start talking about which console is technically more powerful than the other, we just listen. I got a PC, man. I'm standing on top of it, laughing at you console motherfuckers arguing about technical specs.
At the end of the day, I just want the game to work. If my game has to have a day one patch just to function, if it doesn't work out the box like Batman Arkham Knight for PC, that's all I want. I just want the game to work. It still doesn't work. I just want my game. Whatever happened to people being happy with just the game working day one? A lot of people said, "Oh, well, day one patch is normal." I'm like, no, it's not.
Platform you play on, man. Like, I just want a game to work.
Like, if you were to take a Nintendo game, you could go and play that game and enjoy it, and there's no problems day one without any online connectivity. If you pop on your PlayStation, your Xbox, boom, now you got a day one patch 0.1. It's like, what happened? Like, this game, didn't you guys test for this kind of stuff? But I mean, that's the frustration.
Xbox had some stuff. They had Halo was huge for them. They had there was around the time where they had like the Dead or Alive series. They had Onimusha as well. I mean, there were some things to play on the Xbox. Like, I had an original Xbox 360. Didn't have a whole hell of a lot, but which one was Ninja Gaiden on?
Xbox, and that was a good title.
That was a good Xbox.
Yeah, that was a good title. I mean, it was tough as shit. Right. I don't think most gamers can handle it now.
2, I think, was on 360.
But they did a real good job with that game. Anyway, Saves, you want to move us into the next topic, good sir?
People in their plays with semantics, man. Anyway, remember how I was talking about a multitude of TF2 clones that's coming in the future? Well,
That for some reason people don't actually acknowledge.
Hi-Rez wants to get it in on it.
Really, they're doing
Now,
it too?
the fucked up part about it, just take a look, man, and see for yourself. This game almost looks like Overwatch, but Overwatch looks like, look, the funny thing is like, yeah. Have you seen this?
Yeah, it looks like shit.
Right. It's supposed to come out next year, which I think is really, really gonna hurt them if they wanted this to come out. Like, why would you make a game like this and it's not gonna be ready when all the competitors are like Overwatch is all hell. The one guy, if you look at this picture, if you click that link and you see the dwarf, he looks almost exactly like the fucking dwarf in Overwatch.
Like what's the other game?
Well, Gigantic has a different art style, but Gigantic basically plays it exactly like TF2. Even though they got like casters and these little like ninja people and shit, it's still basically a shooter. You know what I mean? Like, this is crazy. And then they have like a card system to modify. Like, they work like talents. So you build a deck, right? And then randomly throughout the course of the game, you draw, as you level up, a random card is drawn that will modify or augment your abilities or some shit like that, and you can only pick one per. Like, it's weird.
That could sound like it could be fun.
It sounds convoluted and fucking pointless, and it probably is a fun
It just
game,
seems like
right?
a lot of people just jumping on this bandwagon shit, and it's getting out of
If
hand.
you've already got Team Fortress 3, which is Overwatch, you know what I mean? If you already have Gigantic, if you already have, I think, what was it? Whatever. There's a just look for them.
Game
They're
just
there.
looks like pure shit.
Just look for them. You know what I mean? But if you already have all of this stuff,
here, let me put it this way. We all talked about this before. This is like similar to what they used to do, what they're doing like in China with like the League of Legends clones and shit like that.
Right,
how bad it is.
Like,
except they hit a point where they don't care.
I mean, look at the design, right? Look at the design of some of the characters, and you can see, like, wow, like, did you just rip this completely off from Blizzard? I mean, you know, not that Blizzard.
And then you look to Blizzard. Did you completely rip this off of Team Fortress 2? And then you go to Team Fortress 2. Did you complete? Oh, wait a minute. You guys kind of start now, and then you go back to Quake. Quake started with the whole Team Fortress stuff too, and then it's just, I don't know. Well,
I don't doubt that Overwatch is gonna be fun. But to say that they're going to push into the market in their own way, I don't think so. They just flat out copied Team Fortress 2.
Yeah, like I think Hearthstone is very fun, but it's not a game that keeps you engaged in a long-term, situation. And I mean, just a lot of this stuff is fun, but it's
not
just
TF2.
Not good though.
You don't think so, Ravens? Gigantic plays like a shooter. It plays like a shooter, you know what I mean? It's definitely not a MOBA. It's supposed to be like a mix between a MOBA and TF2 and Smite and all of that stuff. The game plays less like Smite. It plays less like a League of Legends or a Dota. It plays more like Team Fortress 2. Gigantic is more of a shooter, of a third-person shooter than it is anything else. And yes, I have actually played it. I've been in the alpha for months. As can I, sir.
Yep.
I'm not talking out of my ass. So how do you feel? Because you thought you'd catch me, and you thought that I had never played the game, and I didn't know what the fuck I was talking about. But this is a game that I've had my eye on for, I don't know, maybe 2-3 years now.
If you watch the podcast, we've been talking about that and Tree of Savior a lot.
I've also actually played the game. So, anyway, it's not exactly like TF2, but I'll let guys decide. When you come out, right, and this is why I don't play it as much, is because it is very similar to Team Fortress. It's just a third-person shooter. They have melee characters. You kind of doubt that I have. I mean, that's fine. You know, if you refuse to be, I could have fucked your girlfriend and you still deny that. You know what I'm saying? You could have stalked me.
Well, my big thing, you were streaming.
And you still deny that.
You were streaming. Oh no, you couldn't stream the game because of NDA.
You're right, because they had an NDA.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can't. I don't know, man. It's just.
But the game, just wait till everybody else sees it, man. And you'll see that what I'm saying.
It's like we told people about Heroes of the Storm. It's not going to have any impact on mobile. Everybody was talking up Heroes of the Storm. They're about saying the greatest thing about Heroes of the Storm.
Right?
And now, when they were all giving me some random shit about you guys are just fucking Heroes of the Storm haters, now everybody looks at the game and they're like, oh, it's not as successful as we thought. Oh, it's not as big as we thought. It's a joke. We were telling them that. It's like, it's not going to dent on Dota or Smite or League of Legends. Those are the big three because they're established competition. Blizzard didn't match their level, and now they're just trying to play catch up. It's not we're trying to be haters. We're just being honest.
They're going to try to find their own little corner, man. Blizzard's just.
We told you guys that Warlords of Draenor was going to be shit, and it was going to be the worst expansion ever. And when they called us WoW haters, and they went from 10 million subs down to 5. Look, we're not trying to be dicks. We're just trying to be honest. Like. What else can I tell you? That expansion doesn't look good. It looks kind of fucked up. It's going to be the greatest expansion ever and fine. Now everybody's flaming over the flying mounts. Well, if it was the greatest expansion ever, why didn't y'all get your flying mounts? That's something easy. Y'all can't even get flying mounts. And everybody was talking that good shit. Everybody was jumping on that WoW gravy train. WoW's the greatest game ever. It's the awesomest game ever. Blizzard can't do anything wrong. And now these punk-ass motherfuckers just want to cry in the forums because I can't get a flying mount. We fucking told you not to play that shit, you dumb mother fucking lemmings. You're lemmings. They're lemmings. You know those motherfucking lemmings that run through the street and run off the fucking cliff and they just die because everybody was following and shit like that? If you look at the fucking numbers, it went from 10 million subs because you all got on that Blizzard dick, and then now it's down to 5.
For PvE.
Everybody was on their dick, and now people don't want to ask. And you know, we're going to fast forward the future, and people will be like, man, it's Overwatch.
Here's the thing,
and all these games play like TF2.
Said, hey, if this was YouTube, this Ravens guy could go back in the stream and actually listen to the moment when I literally said it's not exactly like TF2, but it is basically a TF2 clone. You know what I mean? And it's, I don't know, man, just whatever. I'm not going to spend any more time on that guy. But anyway, Warlords was not fine for PvE at all. We just spoke about it, right? Okay.
Look.
They had their last raid content not too long ago, and the Europeans won the race, as always. But High Mall, like, none of the raid instances were really good.
Look, it's this simple, Savius. I'll spit some logic at you. They started at 10 million, they're at 5. How the fuck is that good?
They actually peaked at 11.
11, that's even worse.
They're down to about 5.6.
That's like try if you had like a girlfriend or a wife and shit like that, and she just trying to send your ass to the store to make ingredients for the cookies. You had 10 ingredients to buy. On the way home, you missed half the ingredients.
And that's another thing.
You can't even bake the cookies anymore.
That people sort of get salty about it, right? That
numbers don't lie. What's there to get salty about?
People get salty about certain things that we say. We have no problem with people enjoying the games. If you enjoy WoW, you don't have to defend why you enjoy WoW to us.
Exactly.
Keep enjoying the game. We always say this: keep playing it and have fun. If you have fun with the game, you know what I mean?
We're just trying to prevent you from buying into stupid shit. We told people that.
And Gigantic is absolutely beautiful. You know, and like I said, I was excited for the game, and I think the art style is great and beautiful, and I know the beta is supposed to launch, I believe, this month for Xbox and Windows 10. But it is still essentially like this. It's a third-person shooter, bro. Even if you got, oh, well, he's casting a spell, or this guy's an alchemist, or this chick, she has lightning daggers, and it's a fucking first-person shooter. Or not first-person, it's a third-person shooter. That's what it is. There's a few little tricky things and neat little cute things, and you can summon your little Pokemon to defend the little capture points and all of that stuff and do this and do that. But it is effectively a clone, and clones don't have to be exact. You know what I mean? Like, you can modify things and it still be a clone. You know, Heroes of New Earth was a Dota clone. It was like the closest Dota clone until Dota 2 came out. League of Legends is a Dota clone. There are a lot of things different about it from Dota, but it's still just a Dota clone. You know what I mean? Like, it is basically a third-person shooter, yes.
I don't know. It's just, you know, we warn people about shit, and we just try to keep it real because we don't tell you what you want to hear. We tell you the reality. And then the funny thing is,
TF2. You probably think that Overwatch has nothing. Well,
I mean, it's pointless to even argue. Remember when people were arguing about Warlords of Draenor was the greatest game ever, and we try to warn them and tell them it doesn't, you know. It doesn't matter.
That's not the real Kobe cheese.
It doesn't matter. No matter how much you tell these people Saviors, they don't want to listen until the numbers come out. Just like with WoW. People gave a shit about WoW. People gave a shit about Heroes of the Storm. Numbers don't lie. That expansion was shit. It was the worst one in history. And the only reason why people are trying to defend that shit because you feel stupid because you're wasting your fucking money on a game where you can't get flying mounts and them niggas ran you like you a fucking whore and they pimping your ass out on the fucking main street and say, Big Daddy, you know what? I'm going to get the mounts. Bitch, I say I'll give you mounts when I want to give you mounts. I'll get your ass back out in that fucking lot. And you're mad because you're wasting your money on that shit and you feel like you're an idiot. That's why. Right. So the next time you're sitting there and you don't have your flying mount,
I swear to God, people aren't listening.
I'm telling you, they getting pimped out. I ain't even holding back words no more. Motherfuckers like to buy the stupidest shit.
And it still be bad.
Oh yeah, they can enjoy that shit.
About Free and Savior, right?
Hey,
I don't care if this game is bad. It appeals to me.
Hey,
and
they can enjoy that.
Play it,
they can enjoy that piece of shit on the ground. They can enjoy that shit on the ground because they ain't flying nowhere. They're gonna be sitting their ass right on the ground with all that flying mount shit, huh? Yeah, okay.
But if that's what Blizzard wants to do, if they want to ground the players, that's fine. They should
say,
that's
hey, perfectly fine. But I said they told them that they were going to put it in later and do it, and then they went back, and then everybody wants to get mad.
They were trying to keep people happy, and they didn't want to have a shitstorm because they don't know how to handle that. You know what I mean?
I'm telling you.
And again, I disagree about the PvE, man. Like, if that's... Like, you gotta raise
if the PvE was so good, then why did they lose so many subs? No one ever has the answer for that. If the product was good, then why was it the worst expansion of all WoW history, and why they go from 11 million suns down to 5?
I understand that the little Guardians, you know, they get empowered, they come to the middle of the map, they do battle, the blah, blah, blah. The game... Again, I'm not going to go back and forth with you about this. I'm going to dead this shit right here. The game is a third-person shooter. Similar in the vein, hell, and the funny thing about it, right, is that everybody who wrote articles about it made the relation to TF2. Literally, the early word about Gigantic was part MOBA, part Team Fortress 2, part Smite, right? That's how they were comparing the game. That's how they were describing it early on, right? And there's no one mad, right?
I'm mad.
I'm not. Like, you seem to be upset about it, and you think that I'm mad. I am nowhere close to being mad, bro. And you must be new here, but I hope you enjoyed your time.
I'm just saying, like, my big thing is I'm just sick of people defending these fucking games, and then you wonder why you don't get what you want in forums, and all those people are the people that complain about the flying mess are probably the same people that get that were defending the game. And, like, are you surprised that they didn't provide you what you want in your product? People warned you about that shit, and people are going to get sucked in for the next one now, which we're going to be talking in a little bit.
I want this guy to come back in the future when Gigantic has come out, and other people, because it's going to be in like open beta or something like that, and other people have gotten their hands on it and to experience it. And I honestly, I want to see what other people think about it. I want to see if they got the same feeling from the game that I did. And if you've ever played Team Fortress 2, or you know what Team Fortress 2 is, you can see how I would make the comparison. I still basically said that it is a third-person shooter, and when you guys play Gigantic, you will see that it is just a basic third-person shooter with nothing really special about it. Does it have some interesting characters? Yes, indeed it does. Does it have some interesting mechanics? Yes, indeed it does. Does it have a nice art style? Yes, indeed it does. It is actually quite beautiful, you know, and I don't know.
Savage is very, very rational right now. I'm the crazy person going nuts because I just don't understand how the same motherfuckers that bought into this shit, you know what's gonna happen. It's like a battered woman relationship.
No, Tier. This one is it's 3D. I mean, I know technically Heroes of the Storm is 3D, but it's like this is more third-person 3D. This was like if you were on the ground with your hero. And I haven't played the Heroes of the Storm map, Eternal Conflict. I believe that's the Diablo-themed one with the heaven and hell going back and forth. But basically, each side doesn't have... You know how in Dota you have an Ancient, in League of Legends you have a Nexus? In Gigantic you have a Guardian, it's called. And there's one house pitted against another house. It's a Griffin versus like a Dragon. And kills and stuff empower them, allows them to attack and whatnot. And at a certain point in the game, the two Guardians... you'll stop getting points or whatever, and the two Guardians will go towards the center of the map, and they will start doing battle. And basically the goal is to kill the enemy Guardian. And you'll do so by having your Guardian attacking it, weaken it to the point where it can actually be damaged, and then boom, that's how you win a match. But when you talk about how it's played and how, like, I mean, here's the thing, right? If a person is playing a long-range character from looking at the perspective is third person, and they have a targeting reticle, right? What do you call that?
Third person.
That's a shooter, right? If a person's sniping you from halfway across the map through a targeting reticle, and the person even has a sniper rifle... Now, not every character plays like that, but you generally target people with this reticle. There are some melee characters, but pretty much every ranged character, what you're going to do is you're going to sit there and be using your little targeting reticle to do it. Like, it's less of a third person, I guess.
Look,
I don't even know if
I don't
call
understand how you
mode,
can't
right?
understand it. It's very that simple. I think he was just borderline trolling Savius, in all honesty.
Possibly so. I mean, but it's, you know, at this point he's banned. But, you know, I take everybody and I just use reason and logic to have a discussion with them. So I take everyone serious until they give me a reason not to take them serious.
And that's very true. But like in all honesty, like I said, it's just it's a problem in the gaming industry of people just basically redoing the same ideas, and it's not a problem of redoing the same ideas or blaming things. It's just they don't put in they don't put any effort into making a good, well refined game. It's okay to make a game that has already been done before, but if you're not bringing something new to the table, you're not adding a good level of refinement, or you just jumping in just to get into the game, plateau with what everybody else is doing, it's not going to go well. And if you look at the good example of this, look at Heroes of the Storm. They got into the environment late. They have three other dominating companies doing well in the MOBA scene. They did a half-assed performance. They didn't focus on things that could actually pause and make the game better, and you look at where the situation is at now. And the same thing's going to happen with this whole new Team Fortress stuff thing.
I've never felt the need to defend the game that I played, right? People came in, playing
52.
Ragnarok or Arcturus, and I was like, hey man, this game has terrible graphics. This game looks like shit. Why are you playing this? This game's terrible, blah, blah. Like, man, well, I enjoy it.
Well, the funny thing is, Savius, I was playing Tree of Savior, and people said this. It looks like a browser game. I say, you're absolutely right. And they say, hey, there's a lot of grinding. Yeah, that's absolutely right. Why would you play this game? Look, man, I'd say this is the first thing I say about Tree of Savior. Look, I like playing it, but I can already tell you this is not going to be anywhere near World of Warcraft, and it's not going to appeal to a lot of people because people are going to hate this grinding shit. And I admitted that. I play it for nostalgia purposes.
But the people that play this game, they play it because they love the grinding. Mm-hmm. You know, they play it because it reminds them of something else that they played before. For most of us, it's Ragnarok. But I would never feel the need to defend this game. I'll tell you how fun it is and how great it is, and I'll say, hey, you should at least try it to see if you enjoy it as well. But I'll also be honest and truthful with you and tell you, man, there's a lot of grinding in the game. That's what it's about. But if you just watch the stream, I do a pretty good job, I think, of describing what is happening on the screen anyway. You know what I mean? So it's not like you'll be like, oh, yeah, well, what's going on? Oh, well, he's fighting that boss. Well, what's that? How do you get that boss? Or how do you get this? Or how do you get that? Like,
drives me crazy, Savius, is that if we have a game and you hear me tell me this thing, Debo, why? It's like, oh, Diablo 3 is a shit game, and blah, blah, blah. What do I say all the time? I say, yeah, man, I understand, man. They're going through some hard times. Why you still play this game? Because I have a hopes that they'll make the game better. Debo, do you think this game fun? Yeah, I think the base game's fun, but it doesn't have a lot of stuff to keep you interested in the game for a long run because they need to work on that. I tell people honestly, I think if you just want to pick up and play a game and leave for Diablo, this is the game for you. Otherwise, if you want a competitive, better action RPG in terms of development and that's going to keep you playing longer, I recommend you to play PoE. I tell it honestly.
There were a lot of people that enjoy Ragnarok, Smurf.
Well, I mean, I'll say this. I think a good amount of people liked it, but it was nowhere popular as World of Warcraft or like Final Fantasy.
Because it was truly an Asian
It was a
RPG.
niche. It was a niche for certain people.
MMO, which is why so many Eastern games don't make their way west because the sensibilities are different. And
Hell, they don't release most games out west because they're sick of our shit. They're like, we're not going to release it because it just doesn't do well, and they don't like grinding, and we don't want to compromise our game to fit that audience.
You look at a game that was absolutely beautiful and had a lot of potential, but it also had a lot of grinding in it. Terra. For anyone who knows what Terra is, Terra. When I first saw it, I first saw the Korean version of it, and that's what drew me to that game. And when I was actually able to play the game in the West, when it went to Steam and shit like that, I realized this game is absolutely terrible because they gutted it. Not because it was a bad game at its core, but because they took so much out of the game that made it what it was to sort of appease the Western sensibilities of faster leveling, sort of more quest-based. It's weird. You can't take an Eastern game and make it a Western game. You can't take Terra and make it World of Warcraft. It won't work.
I mean,
you can't take Lost Ark and turn it into Diablo. Well, I don't want to make that comparison, like, because
we don't
I
even
don't
know
think
how
that
even
Diablo is bad.
truly plays at the moment. So.
Well, we have early enough footage. We know that game's going to be grindy as fuck.
It's not going to
and
be
we know that.
Wait, how you know it's going
man, Lost Ark is going to be grindy as fuck, bro, because it's an MMO as well.
Well,
as an
I'll be honest, like,
and it's Korean.
I mean, look, name me one action RPG that doesn't have a light in grinding, like to the point of Diablo.
Most RPGs, most action RPGs are dungeon crawlers.
No, I'm just saying, to be fair, name me one action RPG that doesn't have a lot of
I
grinding.
don't think it's going to be like Korean, super Korean grindy.
I didn't grind for Pot's Grave.
Yeah.
I just killed MVPs and I bought my pots off of botters. that's the G's way of doing things.
But I do agree that they are going to have to tone stuff down. If people want to put stuff in an American market, you can't have it be too grindy. I agree upon that because the Western population just doesn't do that.
I don't think it like make something being grindy makes it hard or anything. It's
not that, but that's not the point though. It's like it's grueling. The experience being slow. People in the West are more concerned about the end game. What's to do at the end? They're not concerned about that because you're not. Because here's the thing. Think about it like this, right? Apply that to your life. Are you only concerned about what happens when you die? So much so that you don't care what happens that you live. You let, year 1 goes by, year 2 goes by, year 21 goes by, year 20, because you're so focused on what happens at year 70, you don't enjoy the moments that come with everything in between that.
Well, the only thing I'll say to this, Random, everybody says they want to focus on the end game and things of that.
It was more than just that, right? And in this game, just because I solo, I don't party. That's a personal choice. I can tell you, it's not hard, but there's a challenge to it. I've fought bosses, and I don't know if Jutaro was one of the guys who was watching my stream earlier, but there's probably a couple people who were watching the streams, and I don't know if they agreed the same way, but I fought a couple of bosses where I really had to figure things out. I had to watch closely because, and it's maybe a bad design thing or whatever. Remember that guy I said who dropped rocks from the ceiling that had no indication that the rock was falling there?
Right.
There actually was an indication. It was this tiny black dot.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. You had to see that. The other guy with the side as well, there were indications that where his shit was falling, and I had to learn that pattern. I had to watch for that and just be patient and whittle this guy down slowly. Most Western gamers, most Western RPG players would not be willing to do, they wouldn't have the patience to fight a boss like that. They'd be begging for help. They'd be begging for nerfs. You know what I'm saying? They wouldn't press themselves against this and be like, you know what, I'm going to get this boss because I'm going to figure it out. But I feel like that's me because I used to solo MVPs in RO. And I used to figure out ways
if you want to look at a good example, you look at World of Warcraft. World of Warcraft has gotten to the point where it's all about the end game, and they put in so much functionality where people can boost. That's a good example of it, right? Hidden. Think about that. You can boost your levels so you can get right to the end game. That game, you could say honestly, that game is designed to get people to the end game and skip a bunch of the content, right? I mean, they did everything in that game, right?
The thing about it, though, see, that's
because there's no grindy in it. And the point I'm trying to make, that's a good example of a game, right? World of Warcraft, you could buy your boost, you could skip. They did everything possible you can get where you need to go. But I'm just saying, though. But what happened to World of Warcraft after they even gave all the players what they want? They still went from 10, 11 million subs down to 5. So they're doing something that's wrong. There's something they're doing wrong with that. Just give you everything you want or just skip through everything. And I know you're not saying give everybody what they want, but I mean, a little bit of grind or a little bit of things you got to work towards. There's nothing wrong with that.
Getting to max level should not be the goal. I mean, it should be, but getting there as fast as possible shouldn't be the expectation. You should be like, man, it shouldn't take me half a year to get to max level. Why not?
It's an adventure. I mean, what about the journey? That's not about the destination. It's the
point of
journey.
it is it
Why
fun?
the fuck should it take me?
Because everybody doesn't have these very generous experience rates. Where, oh man, you level so fast. You level so fast.
But my funny thing is that
you say that though, but there's a reason for you to log in every day. You have something to do every single day. I'm gonna go level for a little bit, or I'm gonna go grind for a little bit. You probably was the nigga. I don't know if you even played WoW, but you probably just was like, fuck it, man. I need some herbs. I'm just gonna buy my shit from the auction house. You couldn't be bothered to just put some music on and spend 4 hours flying in circles gathering your own herbs. Or riding around in circles gathering your own herbs. But that's what the fuck I did. I just put music on and just zoned out. Gathered herbs.
But, I mean, here's a good example. With Diablo 3, you can level from 1 to 70 by solo 5 hours. It used to be 24 hours nonstop. And they cut it down to the point where in groups you can get it done in 2 hours. And the funny thing is, people get to the max level, right? But the funny thing is, it's like you can re-gift the package and people will find it totally acceptable. So basically, instead of those levels taking you from 1 to 7 and take a lot, what's replaced that system? The Paragon system, which is an infinite system. The Greater Rift system, where now, it's funny how people will rather do Greater Rifts over and over again to get endless Paragon levels, and then they'll smash their head against the wall to get good RNG to get a good rift, and that's acceptable, but basically making leveling take a longer time. Basically what a lot of the creative MMORPGs, instead of the focus on the end game, it's more of a focus on the journey. And the difference between the American culture, it seems like they just want to get to the end game or the last little bits of it, and then it's okay to throw all this grindy shit at them. No one complains about the Paragon grind. No one complains about, how many times I'm gonna have to grind until I get this perfect weapon, but everybody bitches about 1 to 70. But it doesn't matter if I give you a ticket instantly to 70, you're still gonna have to grind all those Paragons.
Fuck 70. Ooh,
I'm just saying, but think about it though. It's the same exact shit.
See,
it's the same exact thing.
Like you said, we come from two different groups, because
But I mean, I understand what people are saying. But then you can't complain later on that the game is too short or there's nothing to do, and that's what a lot of Western culture people do. And then the companies don't release their games out here no more because they said they're not going to deal with the shit. That's why we never got Phantasy Star Online 2 Universe out here.
Here's what I have to say about it, right? The thing about it, right, is to justify grinding or just to say sort of a thing about it, right? Here's why grinding in RO is so enjoyable. Here's why grinding in Tree of Savior can be so enjoyable. It's weird that you played RuneScape and you say you have a problem with grinding, and I've never played RuneScape, but I've seen that game, and
I don't play it anymore, obviously.
I remember that game was crazy. You could get killed and lose all your stuff. I don't
play RuneScape anymore, but yes, it was a grind.
I know, but I'm saying you did. But here's the thing, right? The grind is fine if the game itself is fun, right? Why it won't work in certain games, you have to think about it. Why is the goal to get to max level in WoW versus just playing a mage, right? Just playing a paladin and running through the dungeons. Why? Because the low-level dungeons aren't fun. Because being a low-level paladin isn't fun. That's bad game design, bro. While everybody in the West will look at Korean games say, well, grinding is bad game design. Not really, because the characters are actually fun.
as you play the grind. You feel strong.
I think you pretty much hit the head on that. Because if the game is really good, then people will enjoy it. They'll be so caught up enjoying the journey, they don't care about the destination.
All you want to do is play a good game and have fun. So in games like World of Warcraft, you can't do anything until you're 60. You can't do anything until they always say, well, the game starts at 70. The game starts at 80. The game starts... Then what the fuck was I doing when I was level 1? If it starts at... So that's probably why they started letting people boost to max level immediately.
Well, plus the insane amount of money.
Level, but within max level. You know what I'm saying? Like, so next expansion, you can boost to 100, right? And level your way to 110 in a few hours. This expansion, Warlords of Draenor, you could boost to 90, you know what I mean? And then level to 100 in a few hours. You know, because for them, the game starts at max level. Whereas games like Ragnarok, games like Tree of Savior, the game starts at level 1. There are things to do from every point in that game.
And if you want to think grinded for like 0.5% EXP is fun, then
you don't look at that, bro. Because here's the thing, right? I gained way more friends in Ragnarok than I did in World of Warcraft, right? And we partied up, like niggas open chats looking for party. You just met people you never knew. You might even party up with some motherfuckers who have been your enemies before, because it's like when we do guild versus guild, you know what I'm saying, PvP, we hate each other. We don't even know why we hate each other, but we hate each other. I had motherfuckers that was kill on sight for me. When I saw them in a dungeon, I bet not see you in Audi dungeon. I bet not see you in Geffen dungeon, because I'm going to waterball your ass to death on sight. No questions asked. Fuck you. You in the wrong guild.
Original ethos.
You know what I mean? But you know what I'm saying? Like, that's how it was. But then outside of the PvP, outside of the dungeons, you would get like just, oh man, that dude's cool as shit. He's in a rival guild, but I MVP with him, man. He's actually really good at the game, and he's just cool in a motherfucker. You know, I met so many people through that game. Versus where you go in, you know, I didn't meet as many cool people on World of Warcraft. Even when you had to use like trade chat or looking for group chat to put groups together, and it might take you a few hours to find a party to run Zul'Farrak. You know what I'm saying? It took me a whole day to actually find a party that could clear Zul'Farrak. And by the end of that run, everybody in that group hated each other and never wanted to see the other person again. I never ran into that, because for them, it's not playing the game that is the goal.
I'll say this too. If you have a system that trains you how to learn how to do skills and learn how to do stuff, let me tell you, if I had $1 for every person to hit max level because they got boosted or they got just rushed experience, that's why you get stupid people. People are like, why are all these people bad? Well, why do you have these systems where it allows people to skip through or get power level? Because they don't learn the skills and shit they were supposed to learn and what not to do, you know, because they get boosted right to the top. So at least like in a grinding game like Ragnarok, Tree of Savior, or, you know, like in certain things, like even Final Fantasy is more of a grind of an MMORPG than most of them out there. When you get to max level, you look back and you're like, you know what? You know what? I learned this before. This circle's going to appear in the ground, and there's some shit's about to explode there. Oh, yeah. I should not stand in it, because I've been doing this shit for the last how many levels?
You look at that cast bar over Orc Lord's head when he's at 30%. It's like, you know what? He's casting Earthquake. I should probably get the fuck out of here.
But then you got that new age person who comes in, boosts to max level, like, what's up, bro? How you doing, bro? Oh, this is so much bullshit. They need to change this up. This is terrible. And you keep wiping because this one motherfucker should have learned this mechanic around 30 to 50 through these set of dungeons that had this certain effect, but this person wanted just to get to the end. So, yeah, okay, for as much time, but people don't learn. People are stupid. People are stupid.
People learn for repetition, man.
You can't tell me that people aren't stupid.
You learn how to walk by walking.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying you don't have to have. You don't have to make it so. When
and
you play
then
a game,
even when you,
but
even when you speed up the whole process, just like, but look at look at this. Look what happened. Look what happened to Random in Season 3. You leveled up in Diablo fast. You were playing a 0 DPS Witch Doctor, and you were doing everything in your power. The pacing was good. You got max level. You're doing good, and you start grinding the groups, and then you start playing with guys where that wasn't enough. We're in a game, Random, where they already made the game easy. You see they sped up the leveling. You see they made everything easier. They made the experience even more so you can get Paragon levels faster. They cut out all the grinding shit. And what were the people doing in your clan? What were they still doing?
Botting.
And then what program were they using?
Turbo Hood.
And the game was already made so easy, so even if you make the game less grindy and you don't educate people and you do all this shit, people are still going to end up always trying to take the easy way out, whether it's a grindy game or a non-grindy game.
Good players. Grinding doesn't make good players. But here's the thing, right? If I knew a guy who played Ragnarok or, I don't know, maybe RuneScape or Maple Story or something like that, and they were high level and they were legit, not bots, they were legit, I would take them over about half the people I met in World of Warcraft any day, and I would wager that if they went to WoW, they would be better players than most of the people that play WoW. You know what I mean? Simply because they come from a game that's harder, and it's not that the grinding is harder, it is actually just the way the game plays. The game teaches you to play your character because it requires you to play your character in order for you to be successful in it.
But I will say this, I can see Random's point. There is no need to return to a point where I have to basically raid the same dungeon and only have a 1% chance of getting the specific item, do that for 2 to 3 months in a row, just to only sit there and be like, why the fuck did I have to do all that? Like in Final Fantasy 11, there was no point to have a boss that can automatically heal randomly to full just to troll you, and it takes about 6 hours to kill him. There's no need for that.
Like, grind is fine, obviously, because I did say I played.
Grinding to train and learn the player. Grinding for no reason is terrible.
Max level. If I want to hit max level, it's going to take me a year. It depends. It honestly depends on the game. On how it's built and everything.
But I can agree with you. A lot of the old mechanics were stupid. If you look at Vanilla WoW, there's a lot of shit in the original WoW that was terrible. You're like, why would you guys put this in here? You're saying as long as it has a purpose, right? If it doesn't have no purpose, like if I have to, like you're saying, I remember you made a good comment and you made a good point. If I have to walk an hour to get to this village, and I have to keep walking back to an hour to get to this village, that's not cool. If I walk to this village one time, and then I get a teleport back, okay, that's cool. That I can agree with you on. Like, stuff like that. And that's the kind of shit from the old MMORPG days that needs to die. But if it's some kind of grinding where it takes a long time to get max level, but once you get to level 150, you're already experiencing the in-game stuff. I don't think it's that bad.
Now, if the level cap is like 150 or 200, okay, I can understand now it taking a year to get there. You shouldn't be able to get there in like 3 months of playing. But if the level cap is 60 or some shit like that, no, that's just retarded.
What if the game is built? What if the game is balanced around that, though? The game is balanced around you not reaching that level.
And the content is fun and
really quickly.
I guess it comes down to as long as the game is fun, right?
Yeah, I mean, the game is balanced around.
If the game is fun and I don't feel the need...
And that's what I mean.
I need
There's
to hit a certain level to be able to use all the cool skills and shit.
And that's exactly the point that we've been making this entire fucking time. I don't know why it took you 30 minutes to get there. You know? I don't know, like you supposed to be younger, you got the new engine and shit, you supposed to be faster, man. You get there, Random, get there, man. I see you squinting hard, you putting 2 and 2 together, you rubbing your sticks together, you almost got that fire started. Just get there, man, just get there.
Well, and the funny thing is, too, a lot of people say that even, like, Diablo's not grindy. It's still just as grindy, and that's why they have to think about capping the Paragon, because it's getting out of hand.
I'm not saying that every game...
A lot of people don't realize is that, you know what the funny thing is? When people say they hate grinding, but they're in a game that gives an illusion that there is no grinding, right? But there is. There's just another form of it.
Yeah. That's exactly it.
It's just an illusion. You think there's no grinding. Like in World of Warcraft, you think there's no grinding, but the people that are doing the runs, and the grinding is the guys on PTR doing 200 clears, just trying to figure that shit out, and then you wonder why they're doing the shit day one and you're not. Because they were grinding on PTR. It's always different. I'm grinding right now on PTR. The shit's not even out. People, how do you know all this information about the game? Oh, I was on PTR testing.
Rivero, Tree of Savior is a fun game. If you enjoyed Ragnarok, I think you'll enjoy this game. Is there a grind to it right now? Yes, but we don't know what the live experience rates are going to be.
But
We don't know what drop
sometimes,
rates are gonna
at the
be.
end of
We
a
don't know
long,
anything about
arduous
the
journey,
in-game of it,
which is
but-
through life and dealing with people in the Facebooks and how retarded people is, sometimes the only way I can clear my conscience from going out and doing something stupid is
It's to
grinding
just mindlessly
and beating the
grind
shit out of this
something.
little flower puppy dog, which I don't understand why it looks
Yep.
so cute, and bashes his
Because
head in with the
it's
mallet for
fun
experience
to
points.
kill cute things.
I don't know. They
in
have
video
they're kind of sick with their shit. In all honesty,
Yeah.
they're a little bit too much. They're a
But
little
those
bit
cute
too
things are trying to kill you, so it's okay.
Yeah, Debo.
so.
But yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that every game needs a grind, but he's right. There are different types of grinds.
And there's some games we can admit that
I
do
love,
grinds
like,
to a
my
stupid
thing
way,
is-
like grinding, and you have to
is
pay for money to open
I
up
love
shit.
gear grinding. I like.
But
gear
I
grinding.
come from a time
That's why I play.
where you
That's why I
played
play
games
action RPGs.
because games were fun.
But you about your fashion.
Exactly. I'm all about my motherfucking.
See, if somebody
fashion.
had a really cool ass like suit, and you could only get it by grinding your ass off, best believe you ass would be getting that suit. You would grind your life away, and he'll be the same person saying they're like, y'all niggas need to grind. But aren't you the guy that said we shouldn't have to grind? Well, fuck what I said last week. Fuck what I said.
Random would have had.
That's what I say today.
Random would have had all the cute hats in RO. Had all the cute hats. It seems like we probably already touched on this one, man. You know, I know we've mentioned it in passing, so I guess we don't have to spend too much time on the subject. You know, we've already talked about World of Warcraft dropping subscribers.
I only have this to say, when I pause my game for this. I fucking told you so. I fucking told you so. I fucking told you so. You bought the shit anyway. Now, if you had fun and you enjoyed the game, that's great. But if you bought the game and you're complaining about it and you're in the forums, I fucking told you so. I fucking told you so. I fucking told you so.
Oh shit! Did this number change?
Fucking told you so. And that's all I have to say.
This is actually interesting. At the end of Wrath, this was ICC, it peaked. That's all-time high, 12 million subscribers. It carried over into Kata, early Kata, 12 million subscribers, then it dropped. And it never rose after the beginning of Kata. It dropped all the way down. Went up a little bit between Dragon Soul and the release of Mist to back to 10 million. And more dropping. It dropped pretty much all the way, consistently throughout Mist of Pandaria. Reached an all-time, not an all-time low, but a low for Pandaria, probably close to the last patch. Then it started to go back up towards the release of Warlords of Draenor. That was the pre-expansion patch. Is when people started coming back. And Warlords, they got up to 10 million, and a swift, sharp drop between patches from 10 million to 7.1. Between December and March, that's a 3-month time, they lost about 1 million subscribers a month. And then 3 months again.
Well, I'll tell you what, I commend
down to 5
Blizzard, and I just want to give them a round of applause because they did do one thing right in that game. They put in those fantastic flying. Oh wait. I'm sorry, there was no flying mounts. I'm sorry, I withdraw my statement. I'll go back to be quiet.
They don't fly, but you can still use them.
Isn't that eagle supposed to fly? I'm supposed to fly, but I can't use my wings. But we can ride around on me like a regular mount with wings. Don't you want a mount with wings? I know I can't fly, but I got wings. Well, since when did the Griffin talk? I don't know. I paid $19.99 on it on the store. It seemed pretty cool. It said Talking Griffin. I'm regretting my purchase. But it came with the free Hearthstone pack, so I did it. And their new car back.
Dude.
It came with the new Hearthstone back.
They lost nearly 5 million players in the span of 8 months. Matter of fact, if I'm reading this chart right, it's actually 6 months. Because in December of 2014, they had 10 million subscribers. The game, the expansion launched in November. June 2015 is when these numbers came out. They had 5.6 million. They had dropped 4.4 million subscribers in 6 months. That's bad. I don't care. I go, oh, well, they still got more subscribers. Yeah, but if you look at, that would be like if, I don't know, motherfucking Final Fantasy went from 4 million to 2 million. But they're not.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, like towards the leading up to the expansion, Final Fantasy's numbers were actually rising.
Yep.
But God.
And yet people won't look at those numbers and still defend the shit. I'm like, can you not realize that?
I don't think some people are going to go back.
Oh, all of them going to go back. They're going to buy that shit like that's the new crack batch.
We can go ahead and we can do this because this is a wild topic and we just blend them both together. You know, that's the expansion. Everybody should know about it now. It's called Legion. It's terrible. It's a continuation of Warlords of Draenor. They taken, Gul'dan he is dead. The real Gul'dan is dead. But the Gul'dan from the alternate universe was sent through a magical gypsy portal by Archimonde at the end of his fight. When he died, quote, he's not really dead, I guess, because demons never really die unless you kill them in the Twisting Nether, because they just go back to it and regen or whatever, because no one ever really dies in fucking World of Warcraft, which is why Illidan is coming back in this expansion as well. Because apparently Maya's Shadow Song took his body from Black Temple and hid it in a cage to do God knows what with.
Say this. Where'd you get this fanfic from? It's amazing. That's pretty good for a fanfic.
This is the true story.
Blizzard didn't write that.
Storyline of
Why would they write that?
This is the shit that's going to happen. That is why Illidan is still alive or going to be brought back or whatever. Gul'dan is going to get him out of.
What's next? They're going to make a Demon Hunter class or some shit like that.
It should be canon though, Bloodhog. That's the thing.
Oh, they got a new class?
Because World of Warcraft is where the story is being told now. Unless it's written in the books, which the books only take place between expansions in most cases. Everything that happens in WoW is canon. Everything that happens. So this new shit is canon to the Warcraft lore, which is all but non-existent now. But yeah, I mean, there's some people going to go back, but they'll never hit that 10 million mark again. They'll probably shoot back up to 7 or 8 million, and then they're going to drop probably down to about 4, maybe 3. You're going to see an all-time low, dude. I'm actually excited. Here's why I'm excited.
Hey, what's that one song, Cooking Pies with My Babies? That's pretty much what Blizzard's relationship with most customers are. Yeah. Like, they know it's bad for them, but they just do it anyway.
Oh, like, hey, what's up, hello?
But I will say this, if people like World of Warcraft and they don't care and they're buying it just because they have fun, then that's what it is. I'm only talking about the people that buy the game and then they want to bitch and complain about it, and we're just basically telling you already knew better. But if you don't care and you're just having fun, that's the main thing. As long as you're having fun, that's great. I just don't like these peoples on the forums complaining about all this shit when you knew what you were getting into. That's my
the movie is gonna bomb. Just watch what I tell you, man. It's not like, what did somebody else earlier say, man? It's not a Marvel film. This is a very, like, the game that we play, Warcraft lore, and being a Warcraft nerd is a very, very niche thing, man. So we'll go out and support it, right? But I honestly don't even think the Warcraft nerds are going to be happy with the way that game turns out. I didn't say that it was never going to make it to competitive. I said it was not going to be competitive, which it's not. And if you want to debate about that, let me just go pull some numbers out my ass real quick. You know what I'm saying? Hold on. Let me dig in my ass. Find the numbers. All right, there we go. Where's the numbers at? Okay, let's see. League of Legends. It's what, about 1 o'clock in the morning my time. 73,000 viewers. Heroes of the Storm is somewhere down here. Oh, it's just above Call of Duty Black Ops 2 with 4,000 viewers. Real competitive numbers there, Heroes. Good job. Who else is above them? Here's the thing. The shitty game we're talking about right now, World of Warcraft, has actually more viewers than Heroes of the Storm. Rocket League has more viewers than Heroes of the Storm. Oh, Rocket
League? That's with the card that hits a little ball, and you can play like soccer with the ball? That shit's amazing.
More viewers. Dota 2, even though the international is over and EG has won, has more viewers than Heroes of the Storm. So those were the 2 games that we were looking to compete with, and still not even touching the fraction of their numbers.
I love me some Rocket League. Did I mention that I like Rocket League? Hitting that little ball, the little soccer ball? with the car. It's amazing. Hey, Hearthstone. What's Hearthstone at? What's Hearthstone
That
at?
shit's revolutionary, Debo.
What's Hearthstone at?
Listen, let me tell you why I'm excited though, bro. Let me tell you why I'm excited, because I get to see this shit become a reality, that Blizzard's fuck ups and everything that they've been doing wrong is gonna come back to bite them in their ass. This movie's gonna bomb. This expansion's gonna bomb. It's gonna be fucking terrible, and more people are gonna realize it. World of Warcraft is gonna fall to an all-time low in terms of subscribers. I don't even know if this expansion will sell well, bro. They're gonna have to have.
It's gonna sell well because of new class, dude. I think it's just gonna sell. I mean, just I'm not saying it's gonna be good or not, but it's gonna sell. It's that's money in the bank.
I look at it like this, right? It's not even about because they've been out for a while. League of Legends or Dota 2 and Heroes of the Storm could come out at the exact same
Hearthstone
time.
came out and they've maintained their number base since the beginning. If the game was going to get any bigger, it would have been. Hearthstone maintained like 20, 30K. They even do 20K minimum. And that's Hearthstone. People already invested because there was competition. There was no competition. Hearthstone They did very well. But I'm just saying, to be realistic, it's just... it's not going to happen. The numbers would have been there already. No, it's all good.
Numbers on Twitch actually mean a lot. And see, you're comparing the base game. The games we're talking about are esports. And if your esports viewership numbers are not up there, you don't have an esport. It's only an esport because people watch it. So if no one watches your game competitively, it is not a competitive game, my friend.
Correct.
Like I said,
why were you?
I mean, it's... I guess it's just going to have to be burning and horrible. It's just the same thing like we told about World of Warcraft. People like, this expansion's not shaping up to be good. And then the numbers come out, and it's like, well, the numbers are there. Like, numbers don't lie. Like, it's just honesty. We're just not trying to be a dick. I think the game is fun, but if you want to call it esport, that's a little disrespectful to the games that are kind of esports.
Diablo 3 has sold 30 million units globally.
Hey, God bless China. God bless China and their fucking microtransaction ways. They have really committed to this game, and they're going to make it so we're going to have an expansion. God bless every single Chinese person. I'm very serious when I say that. Because they moved so many units that Mr. Morhaime, I do believe, made that video saying that they were very ecstatic. They did that combo thing promo where if you played so many hours of Heroes of the Storm, you got the in-game currency platinum on the Chinese server, and they raised so much just doing that program.
Hey,
they're doing a great job.
All you guys who...
What they were doing. That was amazing.
All you guys who think that Heroes of the Storm will someday be competitive, tell me something. Would you watch an Uno tournament?
Fuck no.
Versus poker? Would you watch checkers over chess? I mean, there's just... It just does not have what it takes to... And I mean, you got to get the players. You got to get the popular players. You got to draw the popular organizations to your game. There were things that they could have done, right? Because they knew they could not possibly compete, and that is true. That even Blizzard said that they didn't want it, but see, they wanted to they want the community to make it an esport. They don't want to come out and try to.
Oh, the community learned what happens when the community makes an esport from how they handle StarCraft 2, and they pissed off Korea, and now they all back League of Legends. If anything you taught you before, it's not going to happen again, because you know what? People learn, and they see this is what happens when Korea built up the esports team for StarCraft 2, and they came in and started trying to saying, hey, you owe us this much money for this, and then Blizzard started their streaming service, and people said Blizzard's owed that money, and they killed off the StarCraft 2 scene, and now everybody's playing like... Do we remember that? I told people, Blizzard's going to piss off the Koreans, and as soon as another esport game comes around, they are going to ditch it and go play that game. Because Korea made StarCraft.
When Blizzard said that they didn't intend for Heroes to be an esport, though they made it a competitive game, that's called plausible deniability. So that when it fails as an esport, they can simply say that they never intended it to be and esport. But see, fighting game viewership has always been generally low in comparison to everything else. But you look at things like Evo was huge.
Evo's huge. Yeah, I mean, they did a good job of that. And you see a bunch of sponsorships behind the fighting game community.
How's the game not, like, you can turn just about any competitive game into an esport. When you're talking about competitive, you can turn Rocket League into an esport.
Don't say that. What I tell you about speaking shit into
I mean, you could.
Stop. We don't ever want to see that. Oh, if I see that on ESPN, I'll go crazy. Oh, Rocket League, and they'll have casters. Then they'll have to have their own little terminology
Heroes of
for
the
little
Storm is not a MOBA, though. It's a team brawler.
Yeah, that's what they said. They did say it was not a MOBA.
The game is more. It is faster paced, right? Here's my problem.
I think the game is fun. I just don't think it's a good esports.
This is the crazy thing, man. People, like you said, they just think that we blindly hate on things. I've watched competitive Heroes. I played the game since Tech Alpha. I saw the shit that they tried to do. I saw what they tried to do with that game. I saw when they tried to introduce runes. How many people who's defending it remember that? And people lost their motherfucking minds because they figured, oh man, hey, they had something called artifacts. And all it was the rune system from League of Legends. Blizzard was trying so hard to copy what Riot did. So they settled on, you know what, we'll just sell our characters the same as Riot does. But we will make them more expensive for whatever fucking reason, you know? But the game, right, they're very fast-paced. You start with 3 abilities as opposed to 1 abilities, you know? So the game is about brawling. That's what it is. It's about fighting because, right, exactly. And again, if you've been around, that's why I asked, is this your first podcast? Because we've said everything.
We've been talking about this for months. It's a fun game. If you ask me if the game was fun, we enjoy it. If you ask if it's going to be a good competitive esport, fuck no. If you ask me if why I don't play the game, it's not that I don't play the game because I don't like it. I don't like the pricing structure, and I don't like how they do the ranking system. Other than that, everything else is cool. The matchmaking is terrible. The prices is too high. I'm already invested into other stuff. Is the game fun? Fuck yeah. If somebody bought me all the champions, I probably would keep playing it. It's a fun game just to play and have fun. It's a fun game.
Hey, they take FIFA real serious, man.
Hey, man, I don't fuck with FIFA since they started doing the booster packs. They used to
play Madden competitively, or there used to be the little Madden challenge where you could win $100,000
until people start shooting each other and shit and fucking doing stupid shit, and EA start comparing with that. But I mean, the game is killed for esports because there's no skill behind it.
There are no last hits. There are no items. There's no individual goal. There's no individual levels. It's all about that makes it more tactical because of the team. Listen, just because in League of Legends and Dota that there are individual levels and one person can get fed or one person can get really like, or they can get really buff on a particular sort of like a hyper carry character or something, doesn't mean that one person will win the game. The team still is important, because you look at it. Let's take TSM for example, right? Bjergsen is on point most of the time. But TSM can't really win easily with just Bjergsen performing. Yeah, and you can, and right there, No Tier, you're a perfect example of why grinding can be okay. If you having fun with Heroes of the Storm, see, you seem to be thinking because I guess we're taking shots or whatever, or we criticize all the games that you like to play, that we're criticizing you. We're not criticizing you. If you enjoy WoW, if you enjoy Heroes of the Storm and you think it's a good game, that is great, man. I'm happy for you that you are having fun. If you're okay with paying for characters in a character-based game, that's cool too. I think
okay to be a stan.
Though, you know what I mean?
It's okay to be a stan, man.
No, I don't think that he's a stan. Some people are fine with having to grind it out. I'm not okay with having to grind it out because Valve set the precedent, right? That we're going to give you all your heroes for free. Hi-Rez went a little different way. They said, we'll give you all the gods we'll give you all the guys for $30, $40, $50, whatever. But you'll have every guy in the game and every guy that will ever come out, you know. But I wish I still had that Reddit thread, but go check Reddit, man, about the guy who did the math in terms of how much time it takes to grind out a character, how many games you have to play. It's actually worse in League of Legends, and it would take you. And what's funny about that is that there are less characters.
Well,
in Heroes.
I mean, the bigger thing as well too is that people are already invested to other MOBAs, and they should have realized that and just simply said, you know, let's just get the heroes free from the get-go, and then we'll just sell the skins.
I would have played Heroes of the Storm almost exclusively if every character was free. My only interest in that game and the only draw to it is the characters. You want to be Thrall, you want to be Arthas, you want to be Jaina, you want to play Kel'Thas, you want to, you know, I don't know how many people want to play StarCraft characters. I don't know anybody from StarCraft except the Ghost character Nova. You know what I mean? But you may want to play them. You know what I'm saying? Or you want to be Diablo, or man, I want to play Asmodan, or they don't have Bilal yet, but you know they'll probably fuck that character up anyway, and he won't be as badass as he could be if they put him in the game. But that is what you want to do. And I look at it like, man, I'm not coming out of pocket. The system is set up like, yeah, you haven't paid, but for every person that doesn't pay for characters, there's 10 people who do. That's how they make money on the game. It's not just skins, because most of their skins aren't even that good. They're coming out with better ones now, you know, but most of their skins aren't even that good. People are buying characters because the system encourages you to pay money for characters, you know? Yeah, I know the stem pack and all of that was included, man. But stem pack is also something
I'll look at a good example. Dota gives every hero for free, and then you only have to pay for the skins, and like we said, Smite, you pay one price and you get everything. When you're coming into a market that's already saturated, they're not even trying to make an effort to try to be competitive. Like, if they were really competitive,
which is fucking pathetic.
Let's just, yeah, exactly. Let's come in. Let's just say, okay, we got to do one or two options. Give all the heroes away for free, right? And then we'll just charge for skins and horses. Or, tell you what, you'll get every single hero from here on out for like $100 or $60 or $70. One-time fee, you'll get the heroes permanently. And that would work too.
I would have paid for that, man. $30, $40, $50, it would have been cool. But asking me to endlessly grind for characters in a game, and listen, I'm going to keep making the same analogy or comparison that I always make. Let's take Street Fighter. Hell, we can take Street Fighter 5, right? For instance,
look how bad that went. Yeah.
Because they're going to have 16 characters in the game, and every character that's released after that,
fighting games don't even release a full fucking game anymore.
But you can grind for characters, or you can pay $5 for every character that you're adding.
Like, do you guys think that's okay?
No.
Like, do you guys realize how this shit's spilling over? Because Killer Instinct, picture that, Street Fighter. They make a new Evil Ryu character. They bring in Cammy later on out of the 16 characters. You could either pay what they called Zenny, which is what currency you pay for Street Fighter V in order to get that character immediately, or you can use fight money, which is stuff which you grind for to get. It's going in every avenue of gaming, and that's the problem.
That is fucking,
and then on top of that, you guys heard the beta wasn't even working. They got all those pre-orders, and they had to take the beta down because the beta down wasn't working, and they said they'll release it when it works. After all those people paid their money to pre-order just so they can play the beta.
I don't understand people. Oh my god, that is a damn book.
No, it's not that long, but Nightbot, because I can see why Nightbot would flag it though, because it does take up a lot of the chat and push out some of the other.
Yeah, but here's the thing though: if you ask us if League of Legends is a good game, we'll tell you no. They're slacking on a lot of stuff. They're not paying out as much as Dota. Their pricing is terrible. We'll be the first ones to tell you that the only reason why we play League is because we're invested in it, and it's just as bad as Heroes of the Storm. The only MOBAs that are doing decently are Dota and Smite. League of Legends is shit too. We'll be honest.
I play League for the stream.
I play League for the bitches.
I play League for the stream, man. I'm not even going to stunt. I have fun every now and then, and I've started to have fun because I've found a couple characters that I really enjoy. Bard is very fun. Tom Kench is very fun.
You know,
But if a new game that was better and bigger and badder than League of Legends came out, I think a lot of people wouldn't play it for the simple reason because
they had more interesting characters.
But
that's one of the reasons I don't
if
play
they had
Dota 2.
another one that came out, say this, and they weren't giving the characters away for free or one purchase, you could not say that a lot of people would be turned off because they'd be like, I'm too invested in League. What are you going to give me? Oh, $40 for all the champions? Oh, I can hop and play this mobile. I'll get all the champions. Cool, okay. And that's why I think a lot of people can go from League to Dota. And a lot of people don't go from Dota to League because you go to Dota, you have everything access from the
playing
game.
Every game that you can think of. Serpents, I started playing games when I was like 3 years old. And not little basic kiddie shit that people give to their kids these days. Who was that? There was someone else. Hell, they were talking about. You want to talk about young people? You say, oh, League is for kids. A kid just won about $1 million in Dota 2. EG's mid laner, what's his name? Samel. The dude's like 15, 16 years old. They say he started playing Dota 2 when he was 8.
Yep.
So come on, man. Don't be silly.
It's just one of those things like when everybody used to. It's like when everybody used to. A lot of people used to make fun of the YouTubers, and that's not a real career. Now look at people like PewDiePie and other people like that are just making a killing. It's like people got to realize that even back in the day, oh man, no one's going to use this thing called a credit card. Everybody's going to pay by check or by cash. And then look what happened. It's like it's just natural, the natural order of things and what happens. That's just how it goes down. Technology, things change, society changes.
I divided the 6.6 million between the organization and the 5 players. No tier. And I think what did they win when they won the? I can't remember the Eastern tournament, but it was basically the Eastern International. They called it. It was like Dota Asia or some shit like that. But see, PewDiePie's he's not this. We're talking esports earnings at this point.
Well, I'm just using that as an example.
Like
a couple years back, everybody made fun of streamers. Everybody made fun of YouTubers. Now, everybody, even with the same mother and fathers that are trying to say some bullshit, let me make a side video on YouTube. If it blows up, I can make a little. That's just how it is. But my thing is that people can't admit when they're fucking wrong or they realize that I slept on this shit. Who's gonna buy movie tickets online? That's stupid. I'm not gonna invest in this company called Fandango. Hey, Mark, remember that company I invested in?
That was the actual name, though.
I'm rich.
It had a name.
And
they
that's
just
how
called
it
it
goes
the Asian International, but it actually has a name of its own.
But I mean, like, it's just the natural order of things. In esports, it's just one of those things where it's going to keep evolving and keep going well. I don't know if it'll ever be to the limit of sports, but as long as it makes a small little bit of profitability, there will always be an esports. That's just how it is.
I don't know what that link is.
Is it a booty link? No booty
It's a Korean website for Dota 2. It looks like, but I don't know.
Okay.
Fuck that nigga link. Don't click that.
Don't click that shit, man. I got it wrapped up in a special CIA napkin. No one remembers that. That shit was hilarious. It had Mos Def actually talking about a CIA napkin that was holding yellow cake.
Well, yeah, I mean,
that shit,
that
shit man. Motherfucking cradle of civilization.
Oh man,
Somebody hates me.
I don't know though, man. It's weird. What were we talking about?
I don't know. We just went from topic to topic. We went crazy, and it's just what happens.
Oh, shit,
next topic.
Man. What is this? This one, I guess, is we talk about the international a little bit. So,
I didn't watch it at all, but I was hyped up. Everybody else was getting hyped. It was cool.
Man, I'm not gonna. I watched a little bit of the grand finals. I remember this. All I remember is what was it? C-Deck. I think they had got a pick, right? So they went for Roshan, which is it's what Baron was based off of, Baron Nashor. So yeah, I think you played Dota, man, so you know what Roshan is.
Kinda. All
But
I
they
know
went for
about is that
Roshan,
Blink
right?
Dagger. That's the shit. I'm sorry.
They were clumped up, man. And I don't know the characters, so everybody, you Dota guys, you're gonna have to excuse me. But all I know is it was like a frost bomb or some shit went off on like 4 people, and it was I think doubled up with something the Earthshaker does or some shit. There was so much damage. I was like, they got fucked up, bro.
Is that the equivalent of Baron?
It's
funny how in that game when people take that shit too early or when they don't take it safely, that seems to happen in any MOBA, right?
They got murdered in that shit, man, and not only did they get wiped out, they ended up losing the Roshan anyway. And it was like, yeah, I was like, well, this is over. And I think, was that in the last game? Because I know the last game, like EG went the fuck off when they started getting the lead. But woo!
Hey, shout out to EG. We always seem to shit on people who are from North America, but it is very nice and comforting to see an organization that cares about.
Check that YouTube link, man.
It's nice to see an organization that they actually practice hard, they play hard, and they're competing with the Koreans and the Chinese that also play that game in the other foreign countries.
It was a 5-man. It wasn't just a 4, it was a fucking 5-man.
So, one thing I wanted to ask you in random, what makes the Dota players in North America different? What makes the Dota than the League players? And the League players can't compete with Chinese and Korean. Is that there not that much competition in Dota, you think? Like in Dota 2, I heard the Chinese players have a lot of competition. I think they have a more effort. I think they wanted it bad, and they actually focused on trying to win that tournament. That's what I feel. And I don't understand why League pros can't do the same like the Dota 2 pros. They're probably 2 different scenes. I don't know how the competition
malicious.
is.
They switched the S and the H, S and H around at least, man. But god damn, brother. Hey, man. That's, oh my god. When you see that shit hit, like, what? I don't even know what be going on in Dota 2, bro.
I want to know why these North American guys can represent and do well in esports when all these other North American motherfuckers is lazy. They ain't grinding. I don't know what's going on, but I was happy to see a North America team win in Dota, because that's big in China, and that's bigger than I don't think we have been winning or doing that well in Dota 2, but a North American team stepped up and did it, and it's nice to see that. I don't think it's just the matters of denials, though. There are, like, it's because here's the thing, right? If it was about the game, then that would be true for everybody. The Koreans will be worse. The Chinese will be worse in general. It's not just about the game. There's something else, man. There's something else in terms of the level of competition, as to and why Dota 2 is able to generate a North American, I guess, champion, someone who can compete on the international scale. I was just very happy to see that, and it was very comforting. That gives me hope when I see a nice North America. I want champions to bring that shit home for NA. Like, them to go in and be like, look, we did this, we represented well. I don't think I've heard of any drama with mostly not too many teams in Dota or like NA. But like, if you ask me about League of Legends Dota, like League of Legends or StarCraft 2 drama in North America, I could tell you shit forever. And it's just nice to see that these guys got their shit together, went on the world stage, and brought a home win for North America esports. Because you know what, we've been fucking hurting outside of first-person shooters, but even then I heard the Europeans are pretty savvy in that shit. You know? It was just really nice to see that. And I hope they keep up the good work, and they deserved every bit of that money. I hope the organization doesn't take all of it. I don't know how
the prize pool there is way bigger. And
that's another thing, too. Like, Riot should be embarrassed for their prize pool as compared to what they do. And do you know how far they pay deep down?
How big their viewership is and how long they've been around. Yeah, because it's not like Valve can't. Well, Valve has deep pockets as well, obviously, but they crowdsource a lot of things, and it's not like they can't put on.
But then League of Legends can crowdsource, and it's not that they could easily do that and do the same thing, but they're not doing it. That's my big.
I'm on drugs too, man. I'm gonna give me some Adderall. I'm gonna hit Challenger next Tuesday and shit with Adderall, and I'm gonna be playing for 73,000 hours straight.
Don't die, Savius. That would be sad. Then I'll be stuck with random. Don't leave me with random by myself. Random come in wearing a nice collared shirt, be like, well, that other nigga's dead, and I'm glad he's dead because I hated him always. Anyways, Debo, how you doing today?
I know that they do the compendium deal. They put a little bit in, but it's still something that they do, and they let the community take. What is it? 25% of compendium sales is added to the prize pool. So basically, people spend a fuck ton of money.
The base money that they put up themselves was more than what League puts up, and then they let the crowd put more icing on the cake.
What Valve throws in is bigger than the League prize pool, but you do have to, I guess, sort of account for the salaries that they pay, and like the Challenger series that they sponsor. And just, other things. But yeah, I mean, overall, Riot could very much afford to put more money into the esports side of things. But I feel like they think that if they pay the players too much, they won't have incentive to continue playing.
I'll tell you what, if they play, if Dota keeps killing it like this and Smite keeps doing well, you know what's going to happen? Motherfuckers going to leave games. Motherfuckers going to go elsewhere.
I think maybe the Smite players
maybe not right away. Maybe not right away, but look what happens all the time, right? We're looking at it.
Most League players could handle Dota 2.
Well, and that's true too. That's the honest to God truth.
I'll tell you, I don't find the characters all that interesting, and I just don't care to learn the metagame and shit like that. I probably would not be very good in Dota 2. I'm too used to being able to press B to recall. I don't understand that TP scroll shit.
The only thing I don't like about Dota is that you've got to eat those fucking trees, and no one explains to me what the fuck eating trees has to do with getting back HP.
That's how you heal yourself.
I don't like that. I don't want to eat no fucking tree to get back my health. That's atrocious. I'm sitting there enjoying myself, winning my lane, doing well, and all of a sudden jungler ate through my trees in the way I didn't see and come ganks and kills me. And the tower don't protect me. I be scared all the time.
But my link was originally about the international being DDoS.
Really? Did that really go down? Really go down?
Here's the fuck. So yeah, apparently they were saying because they lost like 3 hours or whatever to the shit. They were having internet problems, and they were saying that it was because of a DDoS attack. And here was this is what I was asking about a few days ago. It's like, how is it possible to be DDoSed on LAN? And then I realized they're actually not on LAN. They use an internet client for their tournaments. That's how come you can actually watch the matches from within. Oh,
yeah. I think that's kind of dangerous.
Steam client.
Personally.
It is. And that's why that DDoS was actually able to do it. Because if they were on a true LAN, you can't DDoS a true LAN. You literally have
unless
to be
you plug into what we do last week, and you walks by and he pulls the plug. He got DDoSed in real life. He pulled the plug.
He's like, damn man, oh shit, I tripped over that cable. My bad. Was that important?
Right.
You unplugged all the internet, motherfucker.
Pretty much, man. Oh man.
Beautiful.
Oh. I have to say, I didn't watch the event, but it was. I mean, wasn't it nice to see everybody getting so excited for a good event that was done well by a game that doesn't try to gouge you at prices, that everybody was enjoying, that has a superior client. They've been updating everything.
Well,
they've been doing such a good job about everything.
Valve has shitty customer service.
Yeah, there's customer service.
They do, but at the same time.
But here's the difference, Save, is what did Valve say? Yeah, it's pretty fucking bad.
Yeah. And
they didn't deny shit.
Yeah.
They didn't deny nothing.
Here's the thing about that also. What was it? 10 versus 10? They had like a 20-man thing. But yeah. My thing about it is I wish them well, man, because I love to see that. I love to see that it is so large, and I would love to see esports players and esports events like the international have a prize pool.
Real quick, Andrew said he wants to go to sleep, but he's so tired. But this is so entertaining. You got that crack in your veins, that podcast crack. That's all I wanted to say. Go ahead, Steve. You got that podcast crack.
Oh yeah, I saw that Dota 2 Reborn and shit. We listen, and I keep saying this because I feel like some people are new, and that's great, man. That we have new viewers to the podcast, and new listeners to the podcast and shit.
But yeah, we praise Valve all the time in terms of Dota 2, but we also criticize them. That's what we do. We're equal opportunity over
The
here,
niggas
man.
didn't
Like
give me my refunds back for some
you,
of the
you hear me?
games.
It's not Valve's problem, man. You gave your money to some Russian mobsters. You gonna have to deal with
You
them.
will never
gonna
see
try to
that
get your money
$70
back from
again.
them. They're gonna break your motherfucking kneecaps and leave that shit alone. Charge it to the game, dog. You lost it. It is what it is, man.
You are never gonna get that money back. You're never gonna get that money back.
Man.
It's gonna be an ongoing
But
story.
yeah, you know, like me, I'm always, everybody knows I love Nintendo, but I'm also critical of them, you know, as well. They let me down when I recently heard that they had like a free-to-play Pokemon game and shit. That shit was disappointing. It broke my heart. But you know what I'm saying?
Broke your damn heart.
You know, it's disappointing to see a company like Nintendo do something like that, and I hope that they don't turn too much focus to mobile gaming because they already do so well in the portable console scene. It's fucked up that we have to separate them and call them like that. Because the console is mobile, motherfucker. I can take my 3DS anywhere I want to go, the same as you can take your motherfucking phone. Oh, you pull your big-ass phone out your pocket? All right, let me pull this big-ass 3DS out my pocket. Boom. Let's see who has the better game. You know what I'm saying? Can you play Diamond and Pearl on your motherfucking phone? No? Okay, well, bitch, that ain't a gaming platform. Put that shit up and answer your call. Go return some text, motherfucker.
Wrecked.
Nah, I'm just playing. No, fuck that shit. Anyway. But yeah, yeah, man. I mean, I don't play Dota 2. I don't find the characters all that interesting in terms of me playing them.
Hey, all you gotta do is go Dragon Knight, and every time you have an ult, just team fight, and you just get carry. That's all I know. That's the only character I know how to play. I just do. I know, you know what? And I'll be playing. I'll be like, do I do my ult yet? They're like, wait, we'll tell you. All right, do your ult. And I do my ult, and I carry my team.
Can you play Bravely Default on your shit?
Nope.
You know what I'm saying?
The fucked up thing, people can make an emulator.
They sell certain stuff. I know they sell emulators, or not emulators. They sell certain stuff on the store.
You know what? They
though, like
should sell an
officially.
emulator and just make the games like 50 cents or $1 because they losing out to these guys who make the actual emulators that load up all the games on your phone, work perfectly. They got it to the point where you have emulators inside the HTML browser site, right? And you can save your state and save your shit. They just need to make something like that.
Yeah, Final Fantasy Tactics. There's certain games that'll run okay, and there's certain games that won't run right. But yeah, but I do enjoy, and the thing about what got me into like watching Dota 2, I think I started watching Dota 2 as an esport before I started watching League as an esport, actually. And what got me into it was Toby Wan. I don't know if the community over there appreciates that dude, but they really need to. He did a fuck ton for what was this shit called? Was it called Join Dota? The little site that he ran or was a part of or something like that. He did a lot to spread awareness and everything. He spread a lot to help Dota 2 grow. And yeah, he used to solo cast games and shit like that. Man, I don't think he's over. The dude, the level of excitement, when Toby, it's not like he gets excited over nothing. When he gets hyped, you know something just happened. So even if you don't know what the fuck is going on, right? You see these little health bars, there's a big ass black hole. He's like, oh, Enigma did something, blah, 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 you know what I'm saying? But he's just so hyped, you just know some shit just went down. It's like, oh shit, somebody got fucked up.
My big thing that got me so excited with Dota, or the only time I remember I watched this game with this big abomination thing that has a hook, and I watched this player.
Is that Pudge?
Pudge. All I know,
Jimmy
he was
was
hooking
a
people, and he
player.
was landing every hook, and he teleported back to a fountain, and everybody would just die. It was the most entertaining mobile game I've ever seen at Dota 2, and I remember the next day they banned that shit. They like fucking, they patched that out so they couldn't do it anymore. And I like how he stares at the screen real crazy. He always gives those crazy eyes. I don't know why he does it, but it's funny.
You got a new headset. Well, that's cool. What that mean?
I ain't get a new headset.
You ready to duo? Is that what that means? You ready to duo, man? Ready to lose some games?
That doesn't sound very encouraging, Savius.
Hey, man, you know, I'm all about losing games.
That's all he does is go on tilt.
That's right.
He's in full control.
Yeah,
Shout out to
I don't
Kate.
be in full control. I'm just flaming everybody now. Hey, that's all I live for. That
I
shit.
really
I'm just
should have
waiting to
made a
get banged.
highlight that for League with KG with full control. I would have. That would have been at
Man
least a
made that
couple
the
million
KG
views.
command, man. Damn it. Where is that nigga? Is he still alive?
He's
Just sticking
chilling,
his
man.
stick in
He's
the crazy.
just, yeah, well, you know, he's keeping it in the family. You know what I'm saying? He's chilling.
What? What?
He said he was keeping it in the family. Remember how he's messing with his half brother's half sister? That's no blood relation.
Oh wait, that's
No,
who he's...
no relation,
I'm
man.
Oh, we
I'm
were
done.
clowning him about
That's why
that
y'all asked
yesterday.
me that damn question.
Yeah, we were clowning him the other day. We love KG though. KG gonna get us. He gonna try to silently like assassinate us in his sleep or some shit. Talking all this shit. It's hilarious.
When this season's in?
20, newest one starts 28th. I think it ends on the 24th, and the patch
Fuck
will be on
outta
the
there.
25th or 26th or something like that.
KG owed me my $50.
All righty.
Next
Cool.
topic. Next topic.
What is it about? Hold on. Well, not a big one. A few things to say about this stuff. So, kind of actually sad a little bit, but other people are pissed the fuck off, especially people who gave money to this guy. Personally, and it's weird to see this game get criticism in terms of how it looks. I thought it looked great. Mighty Number 9, when I saw the video and just the video of the gameplay, I thought the graphics looked really good. You know,
It's the game that's more emphasis on the classic play, and in the Mega Man game they loved the most didn't even have the best graphics. The highest selling ones is the ones you just released on those
this one,
platforms.
but you know they're releasing the anniversary or whatever, like Legend, the HD collection. They're releasing Mega Man 1 through 6 in HD. There's going to be like challenge modes and stuff and leaderboards and.
Yeah, and the
and
graphics
special,
in those ain't gonna be
artwork
nothing
and
special,
everything.
so I don't understand.
Well,
like,
right, it's going to be updated though, and people think that Mighty Number 9 is not going to be as anticipated as it was.
Well, yeah, they're kind of taking
since
a while to get
it got
out now,
pushed
to be
back to
fair.
2016.
Yeah.
When it was supposed to come out in September 15th, I think was the date that they announced.
The way I feel is they should announce that game. It should have already been out, and they should have been talking about Mighty Number 9 too. But here's some DLC. That's
Yeah.
what the point it should have been right now. We should be waiting for
But-
that new DLC.
What is the word? It says they're aiming for release for the first quarter, blah, blah, blah. Communicated updates to our backers. What was fucked up about it, right, was that first they were making it out to be like a rumor, and even one of the developers had came out and told people that it was a rumor, and then the next day, like 2 days later or whatever, they come out and they make a statement themselves. So I don't understand. Like, if somebody got ahead of you, right, that you guys were going to release a statement and delay the game, why'd you come out and lie about it? You know, he was like, what had happened was...
Yeah, pretty much. Like, it's just,
But
you gotta release that shit.
The thing about it is, let's see, what did they say? We communicated updates to our backer. All the core content of the game is developed in a complete state. There are still bugs and issues pertaining to the online features that are included. Listen, man, I don't need online. It's a Mega Man
They
game. I
can
can
patch
play
it
that
in
shit
later,
by
right?
myself.
Just patch it in later.
These bugs and issues have a direct effect on enjoyment of the game, so a decision on the enjoyment of the game online, though, because if the core game and the offline game works perfectly fine, you don't need to worry about it. Well, what's online? Like, why? The stupid leaderboards? We don't need that shit. Nobody fucking cares about that.
How do
Team
you feel,
has their
Brandon?
own
Do you like your
leaderboard.
leaderboards in your games?
Action RPGs.
But
Other
I will
games like
say
that,
this,
no.
man. I hope it's bug free when it comes out, because
It depends,
here's your
bro.
excuse.
I don't think that should delay a game, though.
Bugs? I think it
No,
should.
not bugs. I'm talking
Well,
about...
if
You
there's
just, for
something-
Mighty Number 9, you're meaning just release the game, patch out the online shit later, because we just want to play the game and...
Yeah,
that's
if-
more
if-
than
if
enough.
the
it's-
online shit, yeah.
Right. Well, if it's not core to the gameplay, which I don't think it is, because it's not an
Well,
online
the game can be fun without online because the speed runs automatically, right? You can just do it the old-fashioned way. Post your stream, your speed run online, and then Awesome Games Done Quick will be all over that game. And all the
Well, they
Mega
don't
Man
even
runners.
have to. Like they do their own sort of speed runs. Like they can stream it themselves, right? And just
Well, that's what I'm saying. They can
Track
release
it
the
as
base
itself.
game, and they can already do it, and then they release the online stuff later. That's it. Maybe make
Yeah.
the game price cheaper, and just
Yep.
release it sooner. and then just patch it in later, and people buy it too.
So it's unfortunate because I was hyped about that game and sort of hyping it up, but
We'll
now
forget about it. It'll
they're.
fall to the wayside.
I'm not gonna forget about it because it still looks good. I mean, they're turning out to be one of those iffy Kickstarter companies. You know, they're also doing like a Mega Man Legends sort of.
Don't speak that name.
Clone. What
Don't
they're doing
speak
like
its
a clone
name.
of that called Red Ash.
We're talking about a game
And-
that hypothetically might resist in something with the Lego Man and our favorite Blue Man that should have never been created. That was a horrible atrocity to the series. We don't speak its name because every time you speak its name, it gets its power. Let's hope they never release that shit.
It's, but they, it's called Red Ash, and apparently it failed Kickstarter. That was the other thing too, right? That like Red Ash was about to fail or something. That's when the guy said that, that the delay to Mighty Number 9 was a rumor, and then 2 days later, right after the Red Ash Kickstarter ended, they came out and made the statement that Mighty Number 9 would be delayed. So there's some weird shit going on, man. Definitely some iffy shit.
Too many cocaine hooker parties. I think they should be a lot
they're
more
not
strict
being-
with their funding and how they use shit because they're getting real
not being
sloppy.
straightforward. There's very little transparency. I don't think that you need to
Say
let
this, you're
people
getting
in
guys
on-
out there who are not these big ass companies and have these teams, 2 or 3 guys getting release dates out, getting the customer service right, getting everything. Why? I don't understand. It's
because
just,
they don't know anything about the business. Those guys are developers.
maybe so.
They don't know the business is bullshit.
But
And you
if
play
they
games.
keep delaying, it's gonna hurt them, and then Capcom's gonna be like, when they release it, hey, we're gonna release this day just to be dicks because it's competition. Just like when Blizzard tries to patch stuff when Final Fantasy comes out, but Final Fantasy comes out.
That's what that shit's about.
Next topic.
So where are we at? Oh, this one. So I don't know, where'd Random go, man? There's some,
Get a sandwich.
there was some game. It's not Skyforge, but apparently some dude released a game. What they call it? It says some game called Journey of the Light. It says it was billed as one of the hardest games on Steam. It turns out first level was unbeatable, and the rest of the levels were not even in the game. So Steam is offering full refunds across the board. Like, it doesn't matter how long you played the game, doesn't matter how long ago you bought it.
How much
give
do
you
you charge? How many people bought this shit? Like a lot of people bought
I don't
this
know,
shit?
you can't even buy it anymore.
Wow, this is
What
an
was the
example of when
price
shit's
for it?
going wrong.
I don't know. You can't buy it anymore. Let me see if I can find a price.
So this guy
So
made the
wait.
first level unbeatable, and there was no other levels in the game.
What's funny is he goes by the name Lord Cress, which is hilarious. Call yourself Lord. He says that his claim was an update. An update messed up the game, but other people were trying to get him to provide proof that the other 6 levels of the game actually existed. But he couldn't give them a screenshot or a video or anything. Says that he's now in the process of testing the levels and putting them back in the game. Basically, this nigga released the game to how does this make it past Steam? I don't
But
understand.
this is what happens when you have all this easy project greenlighting, all these indie developers without going to the checks and boundaries and shit. This is what happens. This
At
is
least,
exactly
at
what
least
happens.
niggas got a full game for Ghost Simulator. Debo, what you gotta say about that one?
Did
Please
they?
speak into the mic.
They get a free game from Ghost Simulator?
No, I
hate
said they
Ghost
got a
Simulator.
full game. At least they got a game that works.
They got a full game.
At least they got a
That's so
full
bad.
fucking game.
That shit was terrible.
Five Nights at Freddy's worked too.
Fuck Five Nights at Freddy's. Fucking broke
At
down
least
Chuck
it
E. Cheese
worked. At least it
bullshit.
was no impossible level, nigga.
Fuck that
Oh,
game.
man.
Fuck Five Nights
At least
Freddy's.
it worked. At
I'm
least
gonna
it worked.
click a switch. I can click a switch. Oh, here comes the monster running for me. You gotta click that switch. I'm clicking it too much. Oh man, this is the greatest game ever. I'm gonna be a game developer that's gonna inspire me. Now I need to make a game. First thing I need in this game,
shit.
I need to click a light on and off and make it very simple, straightforward. But I need to click something. I like clicks. People like clicks. Let me put clicks in this game. Fuck that game. Fuck that game. Should have never existed.
I never played Flappy Bird. I don't know if Flappy Bird was actually unbeatable or not. But basically, like, this game is it's like one of those things, right?
You
I
don't
remember
have to
in,
pay for
in
Flappy
Knights of the
Bird,
Old
though.
Republic 2, right? Everybody praised Knights of the Old Republic 2, right? But people don't remember the bugs, some of the bugs that are in it. There were things that you could do that would make the game unbeatable, and you will actually save it that way.
and so you would have to start from the beginning of the game.
Oh, you mean the first one? You're talking about when
No. This was KOTOR 2. Yes.
I had a game breaking bug for the first one
In
as
the
well,
first one?
though.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
before
it might be another two.
the last fight with Malik, I couldn't. I think it's the last planet somewhere. I couldn't continue for some reason.
Because you didn't insert coin. It was an insert coin to continue.
Oh, insert coin. Oh, fuck. Well, I guess I missed that tutorial, nigga.
All right, so yeah, that happened. You know what I mean? That's all it is. That's what it is, bro. I was at. Does Chuck E. Cheese still exist?
I think it does.
Everybody should go to Dave and Buster's, or do people not take their kids to Dave and Buster's?
I think Dave and Buster's is more aimed for adults, though.
They're gonna get that Pokemon tournament game though.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yo, I'm gonna find a Dave and Buster's, get drunk, and play the shit out of that game. Put all my money in.
Get into a fight with some kids because they think they playing a regular Pokemon game and shit. This is a fighting game, bro. This is real.
This shit
Somebody
is
gonna
real
step
life,
up and shit. You gonna put your quad on the
I've been
machine.
waiting years for this.
They gonna disrespect it, not knowing what they getting into.
I'm gonna smack the shit out of
Punched in the
kid.
face.
Then I have to beat the dad ass, the whole family.
Yeah, but I guess I don't know, man. Like Debo pretty much hit the nail on the head with that one. It's all this fucking Steam greenlight shit. I just don't understand. Like I said, we always will praise and will criticize Valve all the time. Like how do you let something like this get passed?
Because it gets too automated. People get lazy. That's why with certain things you got to put certain checks and boundaries, quality assurance, so this shit don't happen.
I mean, they had the money, they had the pay system in place.
Yeah, of course
they were able to take the money from, but they couldn't test to make sure that this. I guess if it's like, well, we have 36,000 games on Steam, there's no way we can test them all to make sure that they all work. But why not? I mean, if you're doing it, you know what I'm saying? You should at least. It comes back on the brand, and that's what I mean. People worry about QA, or they don't worry enough about QA. You know what I'm saying?
Well, maybe if they were a classic,
and they don't understand that it hurts the brand when you have something like, it's like, man, listen, I make good sandwiches, right? You know what I'm saying? So I hired Randall to start making sandwiches, and he don't make the sandwiches up to the level that I told him to make the sandwiches at. You know what I'm saying?
Damn,
and if I know he's doing this, right? It's like, listen, Randall, man, listen, it goes cheese, lettuce, tomato, pickle, and then the meat in the middle, man. You know what I'm saying? Just do it like that. Now you put cheese on both of the breads. We use King's Hawaiian bread. That's all we do. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And he do it like that. And he started using this cheap, like, $2 bread and shit. It's like, what is that, bro? Like, why you doing this, man? Because he's still in the King's Hawaiian bread for some reason, because he want to take it home or some shit. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But
you got one job.
I gotta make sure that these sandwiches are up to snuff, man. You know what I'm saying?
Like, my whole big thing is, like how you said with the sandwiches. I worked at fast food for 7 years. I said, this is how you make it, and people used to hate me for it. But I'm like, look, you do it by this way, so you get, because in the long term, if you always work at high quality and you perform what you're supposed to do and you do the steps you need to do, then when shit goes down, it rarely ever happens because you're doing the thing that you're supposed to do. If they said, you need to have this much of the game done, you need to send us a tech demo, you have to have a Facebook, you have to have the YouTube, you have to have some type of establishment, and they had all the steps and they went through that, then it's like by the time it weeds out all the people that want to do half-ass bullshit.
The sad part is that should all be a given. You should be wanting.
I didn't go to fucking Firehouse Subs to get my free meal today. I'm an idiot. No,
I didn't go get mine either. But anyway, Debo,
go tomorrow, right?
All that shit should be a given.
Go tomorrow and tell
them
you forgot.
My nigga.
I can't go. They ain't gonna do that. They gonna look at me like I'm a hobo.
They might help. They might, you know what I'm saying?
No, they won't. Firehouse Subs didn't make money by giving out free sandwiches to brothers that live one day in the sandwich.
You forgot yesterday was your birthday, man.
You know what that sandwich is going to cost me? The sandwich I like is $15. It's down the hole. Wasting my time.
Wait, nigga, what sandwich you eating? Does that sound like you did?
Well, that includes chips, a drink, and 2 cookies because I'm greedy.
They give you all of
Damn, I
that
didn't
shit
know,
for
nigga.
free.
I didn't know a full meal cost $15 at
Wait though, man.
Firehouse.
Bro,
You
you can
gotta
get a
get.
full
I
meal
get the.
for
You gotta
wings
get the
for
large one. You gotta get the
$15.
large sandwich. You gotta get the cookies, and you gotta get the chips, and you got yourself a large drink. And you gotta tip the girl $2 because she be looking at you and smiling.
They
Wait,
give
tip?
you
Wait,
all
wait,
of
what,
that
nigga?
shit
You
Yeah,
tip
regular
at
because it's your
Firehouse?
birthday, man.
Yeah, and she put extra meat inside my stuff. They
See,
put extra
see,
meat inside my sandwich.
most people, they have like a basic
like-
setting, right? That's just like, listen, this is what you get. It's in a small
Be right
plate.
back.
And you have a small drink. You know what I mean? You have a small drink, the small fries, and like a basic ass sandwich or whatever the meal is. You know, they don't give you no like extra shit, extra cookies and all that, man. They give you all kind of stuff like that. And I don't understand this right here. I'm a little bit confused. The fuck? But yeah, man. What the hell is this, bro? You think he went to get the sandwich now, though?
That nigga went to get the sandwich. He said, fuck this.
I'm pretty sure they closed, man. It's 11:49.
Was that the last topic?
Nah, that wasn't. It's like
Oh, how many more we got?
it's just one more. I don't know anything about this though. I don't know why I put it on this list.
What is it? I can't look right now.
It's Debo has to come back for this one because it's about StarCraft.
Oh, shit, I don't know shit about that
I don't know anything
either.
about StarCraft.
I don't know shit about that game. All I know is fuck that game.
So I don't know if what I'm looking at is good or bad. I just noticed that there's a patch that they were talking about, and they're looking to make a lot of changes to the game. And I don't know if it's like it's weird. Like they're trying to balance Zerg or some shit like that. And it's weird. What the hell is Group 1v1? What's that mean? All control group feature to be added to 1v1, blah, blah, blah. Legacy of the Void.
I'm back.
We thought
Yo,
you went to
did you-
Firehouse, nigga.
Nah, he wouldn't be able to get them. Yeah, you probably
Subway,
wouldn't be able to
yeah,
get
but I
them
don't want no
anyway.
shitty ass Subway. They fucking bread. Well, if you go to nighttime, some people they make nice bread, but I know Brother Man ain't working tonight. He worked weekends. Well, not Sundays anyway.
So did you've been playing? Well, you played the StarCraft beta. Did you see any other changes that they were trying to make it? It's off on this one right here.
The thing is, with the changes to StarCraft and what's going on, is that they dynamically changed the game so much, Savius. Units takes 2 seconds to warp in at pylons that have warp gates touching their pylon power. Buff to defensive case. Yeah, units take it 2 seconds to warp in at pylons. That's so like if you attack a Protoss, they can warp in close to them pretty quick. Units take 16 seconds to warp in at pylons not connected to warp gates. Huge nerf to offensive case. Because what Protoss would do is this. They have this thing called warp gate that allows them to basically warp in their units wherever they want, right? So what they would actually do is that a Protoss person could build... If I'm a Terran player or a Zerg player and I wanted to build anything outside my base is a big risk. So what a Protoss player would do is they would do a very solid build opening, right? Let's just say they build 4 warp gates. They build 4 warp gates, they just do it real optimal, they make sure that their build is opening, they hit all their timings. You know what I'm talking about, like good mechanics, so you can execute the build perfectly. They get to your base, they build 1 pylon outside of your base, and they can warp outside that one single pylon only costs 100 mils. You can warp the units anywhere on the map. Anywhere with no penalty.
No,
So
even if you don't have vision.
well, you can't warp it up vision, but my point is, let's say that I'm outside your base, right? And I'm Protoss.
Outside your base.
Exactly. A lot of the new units and stuff like that, or a lot of things like you have to scout in your base to make sure there's no pylon. I could put a pylon outside your base, and at the point of no return, where I need to choose whether I need to expand or attack you, I can go up, see you, and be like, "Oh, he's doing this. I can attack and win." Warp in a set of units, chrono boost all the warp gates, and then warp in a whole nother set of units and attack you. Or if I see chrono boost makes it so that you can, because there's a cooldown to when you can warp in more units again, it speeds it up. So basically, like if I'm a Zerg or a Terran player, right, And there's only so much I can do in order I can attack the Protoss early on or do certain kind of early aggressions. You leave yourself open. So the fucked up part is that if I see that I have an opportunity to punish you, I can. I get the choice, right? Could you imagine? All you have to do to be aggressive or just basically take your expansion, right? All you have to do is just build one little pylon for 100 minerals. Look, I don't think I'll be able to break that. Just expand. Nothing lost. If I go
lost,
up
but
and
okay.
no, I'm just saying, can you picture, if you will, if every other race you had to make a decision between attacking or expanding, right? If your opponent's building defensive, fuck, I better just expand and get more resources and build a bigger army. No harm done, right? Or if you, let's say you commit to an attack. Well, once you commit to your attack, if you expand after that, you wasted your time. And you attack, he has a lot of defenses, you're fucked. You wasted your timing didn't work, whatever. A Protoss can just basically go in and be like this. If I see that you have too many defenses, I can just simply expand with nothing lost. If I go in there and I see that I can attack you and break you, I can warp in units right outside your base instantly and attack you and win. I don't have the same penalties as the other races as at building the army, moving the army across the map, and then making that decision. I can make my decisions like on the last minute. And that's the messed up thing about it. They also have a drop ship that can act as an artificial pylon anywhere and instantly warp units into your base as well. So the problem with the warp gate is you can warp any units you want anywhere on the map with no penalty towards you. And I said it a long time ago, the farther you move out, with the pylon, it doesn't make any sense, right? Think about it realistically. If your main base is not there, why can you build a pylon across the map and warp in 20 units at one time? So one tactic they were doing when you get to mid to late game, right? Can you picture if every single time you moved your army out to attack, they just warped in 10 zealots close to you because they have a pylon hidden to the side and they send them in to attack your base every time your fucking army moves out? It gets annoying, right? Then you try to leave some units.
Doing?
They're delaying. I hate Protoss. Long story short.
No.
Protoss had an unfair advantage warping shit across the map. It didn't make any sense. At least
looking for ways to nerf them.
Exactly. So if you warp far away from your base, it makes sense, right? Because if I'm sending something far away, it should take longer. Now, if it's closer to your nexus or your main base, it will warp in quicker, which makes complete sense.
Okay. Shouldn't it be OP though, since this is their expansion?
Man, fuck that shit. Fuck that race. They've been fucking pieces of shit since Tassadar died.
I'm looking at it, and I don't fully understand this, but they're looking at a couple options to it's like this. I don't understand this. It's just something about macro mechanics. I don't know if they're trying to make it easier for things to happen. It says option 1: spawn larva is auto cast by default, but only spawns 3 larvae. Mule efficiency is nerfed by 20% or so, or chrono boost costs increase to 50, and efficiency is not quite doubled. The second option is to cut chrono and mule. Spawn larva is still auto cast by default, but it only spawns 2 larvae. It says, thought here is to do away with added clicks, lose a little bit of strategy and decision making, but wonder if that's okay. Have a clean version where players don't need to do the extra clicks. So it's like they're trying to make things a little easier as well.
But yeah, it's D3 stream. I just did Greater Rift level 58 with Hell 2. You trolling. Anyways, well, they're just trying to make the game easier because they wanted to appeal to more people. Because StarCraft has a steep learning curve, and a lot of people want to approach it because it has that game thing called mechanics. So look what happened with Heroes of the Storm, right?
You think
Look what
that's
they try to
enough,
do.
Though? Just this? Like, if
Here's the
they
thing.
cut out chrono boost, and
If you cut out the macro mechanics, then you know what's going to happen next? What are you going to cut next? Micro? When people can control their army better? No matter what you cut.
I don't think you can cut micro in an RTS.
No matter what you do, it's going to end in the same way. Because remember with StarCraft 1, you couldn't have all the units. You couldn't have multiple buildings on one hotkey. You had to build every single SCV. You couldn't queue up extra. You couldn't queue up. I think you could queue up stuff. But you had to actually move your SCVs to the mineral patch every single time one came out. Now it automatically goes there. At the beginning, you used to have to pick your SCVs up and you had to split them and get them on each mineral patch to be efficient. They automatically did that. Every single time they do something like this, it makes it so that, let's just say the Koreans have less shit to focus on, and they can focus on more micro and more army shit. So no matter how much you cut, it's not going to make the game easier for anybody. So if you get rid of all these mechanics, like things you have to manage, like me as a Terran player, if I'm building up energy on my command center and I'm not dropping mules to get extra minerals, I fall behind economically, that's my fault. But what they're trying to do now is make it so that shit gets auto-cast, or they make it a lot easier so players don't have to do it, or get rid of it entirely so they think that's going to make it easier. It's not going to make it easier. All you're going to do is that the less shit you have to do is that the more people are going to pay attention to their army composition, the more people are going to pay attention to how they control their units. What's next? You're going to make it so things automatically upgrade themselves? No matter what you cut out, it doesn't matter.
I already told you. That's why I skipped, right? The same shit that's gonna be Warcraft 4, right? It's gonna be StarCraft 3.
Like Sabius, you like Warcraft 3, and you never were a competitive player, but you can appreciate the little difficult things they put into the game and the little micro mechanics that make it fun as a competitive game, right?
I'm not one of those guys who wants something to be made easier just because I can't do it.
Why not make a mode that starts off for beginner and disables a lot of the mechanics, and as they progress through everything and they rank up, it slowly introduces them into more mechanics and they learn. But no one wants to learn. They don't want to do that. They're trying to casualize the experience.
I just want to come in the game and blow things up. I'll just build Marines and play
coming to the game and being the best.
And I run my turns and everything, and we shoot out machine guns and go doo.
But look at Heroes of the Storm. You remove last hitting, right? You remove the item buying, and all you have is skills and certain effects. So now it's all it's focused on to is poke mechanics, grouping with your team, reflexes, landing skill shots, right? When you take everything else out of the game, the pro players are still going to be a pro, and the subpar players are going to be a subpar player. Even if the subpar player only has to worry about landing his skill shot and poking, the other guy is going to be able to poke and be able to see, oh, this guy can't land his skill shots, the way he moves is predictable. There's always going to be something that you cannot do, and like I said, when the Koreans and the Chinese get these Heroes of the Storm, it's going to open up a whole layer of just crazy shit, because then people are going to think, oh, I thought this game was supposed to be easier because of no last hitting and no items. All you're doing is making it more of a focus on actually how you control the character, how you land skill shots, and all that kind of stuff. You're not preventing the problem. The thing is, you need to make people learn. So this is what they're trying to do in StarCraft to casualize it so they can make more money and draw more people to the game, which I understand. They're just trying to make it more user-friendly so they can get more people playing the game. They don't care about the integrity of esports. They don't care what the fundamentals of the game was balanced on. From a business standpoint, this is genius. I would do the same thing. From a player standpoint, it's terrible. I don't think it's going to work, but if it brings in more people or more casuals to play the game and then they add some microtransactions in the future, that will make them a shit ton of money. That's all they care about. They only care about the bottom. That's what they say, the bottom end, right? That's what they say. That's all they care about.
Does a casual player really concern themselves with PvP, though? I mean, if you're a casual StarCraft player, you know, like I would be, you generally play the campaign and then you're done. You might do some custom games or something like that, but that's,
hey, no, Terry, the way I feel, dog, is that Zerg had to be way more micro-intensive back in the game. They had to hotkey the mules a certain way. They had to do certain things. My whole point is this. Let's ask this question. Blizzard's already took a genre and casualized it, and where did that end up for that game?
Well, we don't know yet. It's still going on.
And look at StarCraft 1, right? They casualized StarCraft 1. They casualized StarCraft 2 and reduced that a lot and pissed off a lot of the Korean people that made the esports scene. Is StarCraft 2 anywhere the big as the esports scene for StarCraft 1 was? Fuck no.
No, League kind of took over in Korea
because they pissed them off. So
they played League and they played Hearthstone.
If you look at the history of Blizzard and what their track record is in trying to make shit more friendly for everybody, how has that ended up? World of Warcraft, how's that ended up?
For them, I don't know,
Diablo
man.
3.
Ignite,
How's that ended up?
well, that ended up with 30 million global sales.
My whole point is this.
No,
You know
that's
what?
okay, I guess.
Just let them kill the game. Here's the thing. What you got to realize is what made StarCraft great was these
Well, here's
guys
the thing, right?
playing this game that wasn't easy for everybody to play. It's like watching that guy get in that spaceship, which is fucking has 1,000 buttons, and you watch him go off into the intergalactic war, and he's swarming around those comets, and he's fighting off that invasion, and you know that you can't do it yourself, but you see him up there, you see him doing it. Maybe you can't be the guy who's flying the fucking flight space plane saving the world, but you could be the guy who fills up the fight plane that goes out to save the world. You could be the mechanic that works on it. It's the love and it's the awe and wonder when you watch this guy go up to 15 carriers with fucking 8 or 9 ghosts, lock down each individual carrier. Each individual one. He went through all the ghosts, clicked it all in a matter of seconds, locked down all the carriers, and took these hundreds of thousands of minerals invested in these carriers and killed it with only 2,000 minerals with the units and destroying everybody screaming. The girls are going moist because the shit's incredible. You hear the announcers go, oh, lockdown. Everybody loses their fucking mind. That's what it's about.
Yeah.
But they're trying to make it so that everybody feels like a superstar. It's not going to happen like that. But they keep fucking it up. But you know what? It's not Blizzard to blame. It's the fans. It's the community. It's what people want.
You think maybe they want to be done with certain games so that they can take the resources?
Bobby Kotex and some of the other people said, and I quote, hey, we love StarCraft. We make good revenue off of it. We produce the product, and then, we basically we sell a lot of units, and we have expansions that continue onward. But in all honesty, we would prefer a game like World of Warcraft or other games that we can produce the game once and keep continually, having income come in for that game.
Revenue stream from that once without having to do too much.
And that's good business. But from a gamer standpoint, and I'm not getting a check from Blizzard, at least not yet. And if I do, I won't say shit no more, and I'll tell Savius this and get him some of the blood money. But we're not, so we're going to be honest. We're not on their payroll. We're not invested in their stock. For gamers, it sucks. From a business standpoint, it's genius.
Blizzard's paying me, so everything they do is gold.
Well, you're seeing right now that I don't understand. Like, it's weird, man. And they just take certain shit. Like, for them, they think that losing 5 million subscribers is normal. They think that whatever's going on with StarCraft 2
accepted
is
it
normal.
lost or a calculated.
And it's absolutely not. It is absolutely not acceptable at all, and I mean I don't know what they're thinking about that. It's crazy for them to if they really believe that. So what I think,
And see right here, Save, is they said they were so awestruck in that the teams that were getting beat out by the more skilled teams were getting beat out because they had a better innovative strategy. But what you have to realize is at some point there is no more strategy, and it just comes down to this is the standard when this person does this. Is because the reason why it's so fun to watch innovation, because it's new. Not everybody knows what the possibilities are, but once they get all the possibilities figured out, then it's just kind of like then it comes down to the people who are better at mechanics. That's what they're trying to get awestruck, because they're like, man, we saw this team do this build and they won, and they beat the team that was basically had better mechanics and more skill. Yeah, only because they actually had a new strategy, because it's a new expansion and people haven't had enough time to figure out what's the most like the meta with League, right? Like, a team might lose to a certain comp because it's crazy. Like, you might see Olaf Lulu, right? But after a couple weeks, when they figure it out, what happens with the skilled mechanical players once they figure out who prevails then?
Ban.
Yeah, exactly. Or you could be like TM. That's what they're trying to recapture, because they think that, if we just simply... We love this whole thing about innovation and different things. And that works if it's League of Legends, because they're always changing shit. But what are you going to keep changing about StarCraft? You're going to keep adding new units to keep making the new innovative bit? They're not going to do that. It doesn't apply to StarCraft. Once StarCraft gets the next expansion out and they balance everything near perfectly, the only thing that's going to differ is the maps, and that's it. And there's not going to be no new innovation. It's just going to be different recycled build patterns, and that's it. And who can perform the best. And I'm
I
done with
think
the whole
Blizzard wants
StarCraft
to
thing. I'm
move
sorry.
forward.
It makes me sad when I talk about it. It really fucking does. It's like
I
what
think
they're doing
Blizzard
with that
wants
game.
to move forward, man, with away from StarCraft, away from
Blizzard
Diablo.
Mobile.
Yeah, I think it's about Hearthstone. I think it's about Heroes. I think it's about going to be about Overwatch, and that's going to be their new focus. You know, Warcraft and StarCraft and Diablo made them what they are, along with things like Rock and Roll Racing and Blackthorn and Lost Vikings and shit. But
They're turning
they
back on the
feel
games that
that
made them multi-billions of dollars and inspired a lot of people to either want to work for their company and grow up and work for the company and cause all these people to passionately care about their games. They turned their back on the games that made them big.
they think all this other stuff is the way into the future for them. And I don't know. I think it's wrong. And whoever their money guy is an idiot. Because I don't know. They're bleeding money, I feel like.
But you know
I don't
what? You
think
can't
that-
blame Blizzard. You got to blame the people who are in the community, because when I look inside the community for what's going on, you know what they're more concerned about, Saviors?
I would love to know what they
Who
make
is
from
showing
Hearthstone.
whose dick pics, who's talking drama about other people,
Oh, you
what's the
talking about
behind-the-scenes
StarCraft
drama.
community?
When I went into the StarCraft community, that's the reason why you're not winning worlds. This is the reason why you guys can't do shit, because you guys are pathetic, gossiping shitbags who just make us look like fucking idiots, because all you're concerned about is who's fucking who and who's doing what, and you're not celebrities. We don't give a fuck about you. Make it more about the games. That's why the StarCraft community is dying. It's the community's fault. It's not Blizzard's fault. It's not the developers' fault. It is the fucking community, because that's what they're more concerned about. Because they accept being mediocre. They don't want to actually strive to be the best. They just want to make a good, comfortable living and just keep making money. And they want to act like they actually care about the game. They don't care about the game. You don't give a fuck about the game. You don't give a fuck about your integrity. You don't give a fuck about what esports used to be. Talking all that bullshit. All you care about is being self-centered, selfish fucks who are fucking each other behind the scenes. And you're all fucking half-assed nerd by pretty people standards, by normal people standards. You're fucking horrendous, ugly people. No one cares if you're fucking this person. You ain't got no tits. You ain't got no ass. You got a small dick. You do whatever. No one cares about you, and you're ruining what the game fucking stood for. And I get sick of that shit. Fuck all of them. Fuck them all.
Oh man, what about the Koreans though?
Oh, they fucking beautiful people. I love them. They just make that game look so magical, because they play that game to be the best, and they have
Oh
fun.
man,
You know, and that's fucking how.
there
they
we
are.
go.
Yeah.
We got another rant to end on. Let's just.
I'm sorry. I get some type of way about my StarCrafts.
Yeah, we should always end on a rant. That's the way. Oh man, it was wonderful.
What's the next tab?
All right, man. I think that's it, man. You know.
I'm so sorry that the stream took so long today, but we had some really sensitive issues. We had a lot of shit that went down this week. If you just came into the podcast too long, didn't hear, Blizzard's fucking up on StarCraft. Blizzard's fucking up on WoW. Blizzard's been fucked up on Hearthstone. Well, they're okay on Hearthstone. They done fucked up on Heroes of the Storm. Blizzard, the Dota Invitational shit was amazing. League of Legends needs to get their act together. Konami's been fucking up, and they're gonna keep fucking up. And these gaming companies don't give a fuck no more. Project Greenlight's a fucking joke.
Yeah, but Tree of Savior got greenlit, man. So maybe that'll work out.
Tree of Saber
yeah,
is going to be a
do.
fantastic game that me and Savers are going to love, and a lot of people are going to hate on that game and say it looks a browsing game, but we don't give a fuck. We just
They
like
do need to
ourselves.
monitor it a little bit better, though, man, to make sure that games are actually at least
Hey, thanks, Riddles.
complete before greenlighting them. That's kind of weird that a game that is not even full makes it to the Steam store and is actually sold to people.
And doesn't even have the additional levels.
First level's not even beatable. First level's not finished. How do they do it?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's crazy. Somebody's gonna get fired because he's fucking somebody that let him do that shit.
I don't got no freestyle about Diablo. Diablo is going in a good direction. Witch Doctors have been buffed pretty well. They could do a lot better, though. I think Diablo is crawling to a better direction, but they could do better. When you get more updates, this is what I'm gonna. And I think I might end the stream after this too. Let me put it to you the harsh reality like this: when your brother or sister game has more Diablo content than the actual main game, you know somebody's fucking up. Man, did you see that new thing they did about the Butcher? Oh, they're gonna put a new Butcher boss in? Oh, no, I'm sorry. I mean in Heroes of the Storm, okay. Did you hear about that new Crusader change and how she's crazy and OP? Now, what is a new build? What is it? Oh, I'm sorry, I was talking about Heroes of the Storm. Man, did you see that new area that they have with the underground thing and all the demons and the lava and stuff? Oh, sorry, that's a new map for Heroes of the Storm for Diablo. Okay. You know, it's just... Yeah, pretty much. That's what they talked about. That's the kind of drama that's killing the community.
Well, damn.
You guys have a good night. Savius or Random, would you guys like to say anything?
I got one thing to say. No, I got a couple of things. Fuck Skyforge. And always wrap it up. If that bitch tell you you can go in Raw, don't do it. And I'm done.
That's issue.
What about you, Savius? What you about to go? Because you about to go grab some more Tree of Savior. You gonna get it in.
Oh, it's over with for now.
Oh, there's no more beta?
Yes, it ended, but it's all good.
Oh, well, I'm glad you enjoyed yourself. And you know what? The sad thing is, if you would have played from day one every single day, you would have outleveled them motherfuckers.
Yeah, probably.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week, and I'll get the video up today or tomorrow. Take it easy.
Peace.